kwamba kwa sababu ya hiyo trust issues they think that at least kuwe na mkutano mmoja, they think that their vote won't count. Sawa sawa. Nimesikia some engagement and I know we'll have more engagement later, but I think there's a question which I also need to ask you people, because wale watu ambao wanachaguliwa from the ward level, MCA anatoka wapi? MCA anatoka wapi? Si mtaa? Si ni ukweli? MP si anatoka mtaa? Nyinyi mkiambiwa mchukue kura kama vijana, bado mna sita kuchukua kura kwa sababu ya hiyo trust issues. Sisi in addressing that trust issues, we are working very closely with IBC to ensure that we are giving them a platform to come and conduct voters education to you people. Na umesikia, these people don't have information. True? They don't have information. Morris, you need to organize more sessions na wakina Mike. Kwa wasee hawana information on electoral process. Wangapi wangetaka pia kusimama kama MCA? Wangapi wangetaka ama kuna hiyo wito ya kusimama kama MCA, MP, ya? Iko mmoja mwenye anasimama. Very well. Tungetaka kuona young people wakiingia sana on governance. Si ndio? Kuingia kwa governance ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba unaingia mahali ambapo mikakati ya serikali inatengenezwa. Si ukweli? Mikakati na sheria za maendeleo inatengenezwa wapi? Inatengenezwa wapi? Kwa bunge la county na pia bunge la national. Sawa sawa.
Amesema maneno ya hamna information, si ndio? So what we can do, given now I'll challenge them, if there will be time, both Nakuru Town East and West, we have a forum, youths. Sawa sawa. And from there, we show you, or we simulate, but without our ballot boxes. We will use cartons. Tunaelewana? We will simulate without the ballot boxes. Ya kwamba, tutatengeneza with your permission, ya kwamba we will simulate how you're going to vote, how we tally. It's the same thing. Because until you feel it, or until you do it, that's when you'll understand. So when you go to the polling station, na vitu zingine zitendeke, you can always report. Mkenya anafaa kureport any incident anapata. And our lines are always toll free. Sawa sawa.
Thank you so much. And also, please, also, as you talk to your wakubwas there, also address the issues of, there is also weak stakeholders engagement, especially at our county government representative atatupatia a piece, and then we get some information from the county government representative, and then tukumbuke we are live, tuko live bena, sindio? Tuko live kutoka Pawa Radio. Kwa hivyo unaweza ingia kwa mtandao. Ukiingia kwa mtandao utaona hii session ikiendelea. So give it up for, unaitwa aje? Smith. Yeah, go ati Smith from Atimuranga. Wewe. Umse nimeona ana engage sana nani? IBC. Umse mpatie job bana. Ya voters education. So karibu sana tupatia a piece and then we continue. Thank you so much.
Ni bado ni asubuhi, ndio? Yeah, so good morning. I'm Munyiri Smith. Mimi ni msanii lakini bado sijakolea kwa game. So please naomba leo tu sitaweza kuperform, lakini next time nitaperform. Tafadhali. Si ndio?
Anaitwa aje? Utesh hayuko ready. Utesh hayuko ready. Akikuwa ready atatushow. Sawa. So at this particular point ningetaka kumualika a representative from the county government atupatie some information before now we swim to our panel discussion. Karibu sana mheshimiwa, mwenye heshima zake. Na wacheni niwaambie another problem yenye tunakuanga nao. Tukiona waheshimiwa tunafikirianga nini? Ndio hiyo.
Vijana mjambo. Kwanza nianze kusema mimi sio mheshimiwa. Mimi am just a civil servant. Na work na serikali ya mheshimiwa Susan Keheka kama administrator kwa department ya youth and sports. So I'm here to represent my chief officer ambaye anaitwa Josh. Nani anajua Josh? Alikuwa MCA wa London. Nani una watu wa London? At some point alikuwa MCA London. Lakini mnamjua? So akapewa job na governor. So I'm here to represent him. Leo hajaweza kuwa hapa lakini angependa sana kuwa hapa. So I'm also here with my colleague and I'll say she's called Tabe. Yeye ni PA wa Josh. Maybe you can come and say hi alafu nitasema kidogo.
Habari yenu. Tabitha Muthike. I'm the personal assistant to the Chief Officer Youth and Sports, Francis Njoroge.
Asante Tabe. So like you have mentioned, majina yangu ni Kingori Mwangi. Nimesema mimi ni administrator kwa department. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to engage the youth. Tuna mambo nyingi tutazoongea kuhusu youth. We shall engage during the panel to ambia what the county government is doing concerning the youth and other departments what they are doing concerning the youth, na tutaweza ku engage zaidi. So sitasema mengi, maybe you can engage during the panel so that we can also share more that I do have, and also you can ask a question that I think you might have. So asante sana Bwana James, sitasema mengi, maybe nitaongea zaidi tukiendelea kwa panel. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any other representative from county? Labda chief alikuwa amesema atakuja, hajafika, sinu? Aya, sawa. Wakifika watatusalimia tukiendelea. So kwa sasa hivi tutakuwa na panel discussion ambayo mkumbuke tumewaeleza kwamba we are live in through Pawa Radio. So kwa sasa hivi ningependa kukaribisha kwa upendo na kwa unyenyekevu yule ambaye atakuwa moderator wetu wa panel discussion, si mwingine mbali ni Madam Ann. Tumpatie makwapa akija. Makwapa. Kidole. Makwapa. Kidole. Mkono. Karibu sana Ann. And take it over.
Good morning. Once again, good morning. Yes, my name is Ann Wanyoike, and over the next perhaps 1 hour or so, we are going to get into our panel discussion. And let me just read my little introduction so that you can understand just a little bit about what our conversation is going to be about this morning.
Mic test 1 2. Kasa. Wanipata. Kasawa. Oh. Mic test 1 2. Kasa. Eh? Okay.
All right. So welcome to this important conversation on youth inclusion in governance and democratic processes. Today's forum brings together young leaders, duty bearers, and electoral stakeholders to reflect on a simple but powerful question. Na swali yenye tutajiuliza leo ni how do we move from talking about youth participation to truly practicing it. Through the rights, inclusion and transparency for accountable institutions, which ni mradi yetu hapa hivi inaitwa Ritai, Power 254 continues to create spaces where young people can actively engage with institutions and raise critical governance and human rights concerns and contribute to shaping solutions within their communities. And we're going to get right into the panel. I'm going to introduce my panelists. The first one is already on the panel, so that's really good. He's Mr. Kingori Mwangi, who is representing the Chief Officer. Karibu sana, thank you for joining us. We also have Madam Pello from the IEBC. Thank you so much for being here. We also will be joined by Mr. Michael Ojwang, who is a media practitioner, youth mentor, as well as budget champion. Mr. Ojwang, if you are here, please step to the jukwaa. Oh, you're right here. Yes, please. And then we have Miss Diana Ochieng, also from Voice 032. Please join us on the panel as we get right into our conversation. Diana Ochieng. Karibu sana. Okay, I think niko interested sana kusikia kutoka kwenyu, my panelists today. So when we talk about youth participation or inclusion kwa issues za kitawala ama governance, why is it so difficult to get more young people in meaningful inclusion? And what should it look like, even especially as we deliberate on how to go about youth inclusion when it comes to maswala ya kitawala na pia maswala ya kidemokrasia? We will start with Ma'am Diana.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, I will start with the first question she has asked. I think lack of awareness. Most of the youth don't know, or they are not included in what are being done in the government or the projects which are taking place. So I think lack of awareness is the first thing. They should be educated, or lazima waekwe wajue chenye inafanyika amongst them. Okay, thank you.
Right, Mr. Kingori, nitakuja kwako. You know, you're here representing the Chief Officer of Youth and Sports. Ni mikakati ipi ambayo mmeweza kuweka katika your kitengo chako to ensure that the inclusion of young people kwa maswala ya kitawala is happening, and is happening on a meaningful level, and also is beyond tokenistic representation, kwa sababu for a long time young people feel like they're just there to be seen. Even if they come into the spaces and into the rooms where decision making is done, they're just there ceremoniously. So how do we go about rethinking participation?
I can start by saying that the county government, not really the department itself, but the county government under the leadership of our governor, able Governor Susan Keheka, what we are doing to the youth of the Nakuru County government is that we are trying to give them platform where they can develop their talents and also do research on particular maybe particular talent search. Like for instance, yesterday, for those people who are not aware, we had a competition
dancing competition at our offices pale chini Bondeni, and it was sponsored by the PPMC, which is a permanent presidential media council, media coverage, something like that. Now, what we are trying to do is to make sure that this young youth, they are getting information even from our county website and also from the Department of Youth, vile wanaweza saidika. At the same time, tunajaribu kuwa nature how they can impact the society meaningfully. Yeah.
I'll come to you, Mr. Michael Ojwang, as a young person here on this panel. Do you feel that young people were well included or represented, especially when it comes to governance? And what Mr. Mwangi is saying is that they have done what they can, wamehakikisha kwamba kuna juhudi hapa na pale, but is it enough? Are you satisfied by what the county government is doing, and what more should be done to ensure youthman wameingia katika hizi opportunities na rooms za decision making?
Yeah, I'm happy he's here representing our CEO, who is in absence. Number one, I want to say that youth are not included most of the time. Hatuhusishwi, hatujajumuishwa. Chenyewe ina happen, unapataga wakati wanahitaji vitu yenye inahitaji vijana, mnaitagwa, mnalipwa, after hapo imeisha. Hakuna kitu kingine mtakuja kufuatwa kuelezewa. Siku nyingine mkihitajiwa tena mtakuja. Like in Nakuru County, I'll narrow down to the context of Nakuru County. It is from the department. I think he is aware. We have a youth policy which did not emanate from the young people. It emanated from the department, and we don't know at what stage it is at the moment, because sijui ni vijana wangapi hapa walihusishwa wakati wa hiyo draft, wakati ilikuwa inafanywa. Tuliona kuna some meetings zilifanyika kwa mahoteli. Some representative of the young people walikuwa wenye tujue liko wapi, but majority of the young people hatuelewi hiyo document iko hapo inasema nini, ni content gani iko kwa hiyo document. We don't know, because we believed one thing tumekuwa tukiadvocate, tukipata hiyo youth policy, at least it will give us the basis of engagement with a legal framework from both end, where we can negotiate, we can engage, we can be included, which itakuwa ni mandatory, si ati ni ile vile wanataka. So one, kuna youth policy sijui imefika wapi, kama department maybe wanaweza tuelezea, cause ilitoka kwao, haikutoka kwetu. Hata content yenyewe we don't know. So kitu tunasemaga, there is nothing for us, there is nothing that is for us without us. Hiyo si yetu. Yenye wametoa na si yetu, hiyo si yetu, ni hao wanaiona. And number two, I want to say, when we talk about youth inclusion, it's all about participation in governance and decision making. And we cannot have a meaningful participation without having a legal framework that governs and give directions on how people are supposed to be engaged, included, and participate meaningfully. Because whatever is happening in most cases, unapataga mkutano kama iwe niko hapa, utapata 3/4 of the people ni wale wenye wameattend, si kuparticipate. Wameattend, wamekuja tu, yani waonekane walifika. Lakini wakati vitu zinaanza kuongelewa, au none of them ataongea, hakuna, au tu ni na kuitikia. Umeitwa hapo umeenda, hujui watu wana discuss nini. Utaongea? Hauwezi, utanyamaza. Nataka nichukulie good example kama hizo wakati wa budget processes. Wakati zinakuja, wanakuja na zile documents zinaongea kuhusu budget. Some of those wordings and language imetumika kwa ile document ni jargons yenye mtu kama mimi nikiwa pale mtu wa ghetto siwezi nikashikanisha. So ikifika hapo kitu ya kwanza wameshaniuzia uoga. Ndio unafika hapo mtu anakuambia ati CPROP, unashangaa CPROP ni nini? So akishakuuzia uoga kama hiyo, badala ya kuparticipate wewe itabidi ukae chini usikie wale wenye wanajua hizi vitu vile wanasemaga vile kunaendaga. So ile kitu tunataka, one, Nakuru County we have a department of citizens engagement and public participation. A department yenye tuko na CEO anaitwa Mr. Gitao. Department ambaye haina budget, haina portfolio. Kwa hiyo ndio department ambayo pia inafaa kufanya civic education. I happen hakuna budget allocation, hata ukiinteract kwa the previous financial budget hawajaikuwa. That bill, we have a Nakuru County public participation bill ilishapitishwa, which is an act since 2016. Haijawahi on a light, haijawahi ku implemented. Walikuwa nasema kukuwa na ofisi and all that. Now wakati this regime iliingia, this third regime ya our governor Madam Susan Kihika iliingia, wali create that department ambapo inaongozwa na Mr. Gitao, but hiyo department haina budget. I was in a meeting somewhere, nikasikia wanasema they are doing review of the Nakuru County Public Participation Bill Act. Nikauliza swali and I asked the CEO himself, Mr. Gitao, unafanya review ya act yenye haijawahi tumika, haijawahi on a light, what are you reviewing? Something that has never worked, hakujai kuwa na budget. Number 2, budget ya kufanya review imetoka wapi? Yet budget ya kuimplement hiyo act haijakuwepo. So tulikuwa tunahisi tunahitaji hiyo youth policy, ni ya umuhimu kwa sababu ikishatupatia itakuwa inaangazia masuala ya vijana kwa county, whether ni katika mambo na talent, whether ni katika na mambo na elimu, mambo katika na ajira, mambo na biashara, sports and all that. Number 2, tuko na hiyo act ya public participation ambapo inafai work. Tunaona pia at national level there is a conversation that is going on the same, at the county level which we think to domesticate about the same. It is high time tukuwe na hiyo kwa sababu tukikuwa na hizo in place zitapeana guidelines and directions which are mandatory. Si ati ile yenye mtu amefikiria ati nini. I think by having that, kama vijana tutakuwa na nguvu, tutakuwa na sauti yenye tunaweza tukasimama na tuseme ya kwamba kulingana na sheria fulani inasema ABCD, vijana lazima tukue. But bila hiyo it is just at their discretion kwa sababu saa hizi unakuta in the financial year 2022-2023 in the entire Nakuru County wenye kuna more than 2 million people, it's only 66,000 people wenye wali participate kwa public participation kupitisha miradi na kuunda budget ya county. So ukikuja kuangalia hata ukifanya into a ratio la proportion, it is less than even 1% of the population of the residents of the Nakuru County. And kwa nini happen hivyo? Kwa sababu hatuna ile sheria inasema ya kwamba public participation inafaa kukuwa na watu wangapi na inafaa kufanywa kwa njia ipi na nini inafaa kukuwa pale ndiye hesabiwe ni kwamba ni public participation. Right. So I think that is a gap. And then lastly, vijana wengi hatuna ufahamu. We are not hatuna ile awareness. So awareness is key. Inahitajika civic education, it is very key. Political education, it is very key. And you can attest, even hata ukiingia hapa 3/4 of these young people, ask them, hii inaendelea hapa, utakosa answer. Tunatua watu wengine wakianza kunyamaza. But sio kutaka kwao, ni kwa sababu their capacity has not been built. But if their capacity has been built to a position whereby they are able to effectively engage, I think the young people, being that we are the majority and being that our country, the 65% of the total population are the young people, ambao tunabilivia kwamba sisi ndio tunafaa kukari inchi na kuipeleka forward. So if we are not mentored and prepared now, when that time came, tutakuwa tuko ready. So kabla tuanze kublame wale public person. Alafu number 3 ya mwisho nikimaliza, sisi kama vijana pia lazima tukue na hiyo interest. Juu bila kukuwa na interest tutakuwa tunablame watu. Ni mara ngapi mikutano zinakuja kwa community, vijana tukiitwa wanaulizaka kuna kakitu. Kama hakuna kakitu hawakuji. Hiyo ni MCA, hiyo ni chief. So tutoke kwa ile mentality ya kakitu. Juu hapo kwa kakitu ndio unakuta MCA akikuja atachukua watu 3 awapatie kwa kitu, wakifika pale au kazi yao ni kupiga kelele badala ya kuengage.
All right. Thank you so much. I understand that Miss Pello, you have to leave, but I want you to answer some of the concerns when the plenary when the plenary was going on. You heard from the beautiful people of Nakuru that they do not have public trust, for example, in the public institution that is IEBC. We also have the issue of, is their data safe and secure? Now the issue of iris identification as well. A lot of people do feel that that is very invasive. What a new way of storing data. So talk to us a little bit about those concerns. There has been also the issue of voter apathy among young people because they do not see the point of voting for a country that they are promised, yet the promises are not delivered. So it's very many frustrations, and I can tell you, I talk to a lot of young people and they are very frustrated by the electoral process that that the IBC undertakes. There is the issue of delayed ID issuance as well. So talk to us a little bit about all those issues, as I know you have to leave. And I think I will replace you. I know, sorry to put you on the spot, sir, but Edwin Mukala, he's an MCA aspirant from the Menengai ward. He'll be joining us shortly after Ms. Pello tackles all those issues that have flaunted her way. Thanks.
Wow, thank you. And I totally understand, yeah? I totally do understand. Wow. Where should I start? Voter apathy? Let me start with voter apathy. I've been wondering, where are the youths? Really? See your social media, we look for you guys there, you're not there. Your presence is not felt. Thank you. Your presence is not felt. Let's go to Mashinani. We've been with Pawa 254 for quite a minute now in Kivumbini, in Biashara Ward. We've been coming out. And just on Sunday, I was in a place called Hekima Church. Pale chini. Hekima. Si mnajua? Wale watu wa Kivumbini. Now, coming out to that part, yani tunakuja mpaka mashinani, we are begging you, we talk to content creators, push these things, wacha vijana wajue ya kwamba we are registering, but your presence is not felt. I don't know where we're going wrong. We're really trying, but you're not coming out. Labda ni kashikishwe kakitu, siyo? Apart from that, we are just still begging you, really, come out in numbers. Let's register. Tuzoze na kura, badala ya kuzoza na streets. When it comes to the trust, trust is earned. And as IBC, we are really trying to restore that trust. Ya kwamba, you trust us again. And we are coming in politely, kindly, na kuambia, kindly do trust us. And for us to be trust, it has to be two-way. Ya kwamba, you also work your way out, especially you voters. As much as muna inaitwangu aje, hauni trust, mimi nitakutrust aje utaenda kupiga kura vile ninakuambia ya kwamba decisively, yani wewe mwenyewe ujifikirie, ujiamulie na ujipigie kura bila uamuzi ama second person ama interference from another party. Kindly, that is the only thing we are asking. Ya kwamba ujiamulie, ujipigie na pia be part of us. Let's work together. Trust ni kwamba you trust me, I trust you. Sindio? Now, if you don't trust me, how will I trust you? Although, given that you are my client, I will forever trust you. Hata ukiniambia hii kura nimeipiga vizuri, you will find that when people are voting, unapenda huyu, umepatia yeye tick. Umechukia huyu, unapatia yeye X. What you don't know is you have spoiled that vote. Na hiyo ndio tunasema, we are coming out here to really urge you, to really listen to us. Ya kwamba politician atakwambia huko, ukienda huko weka tick. Kweli, utaenda huko weke tick. Lakini, unasahau ya kwamba, ukiweka tick, umeshachagua huyo mtu. Unakumbuka tena unasema, huyu simtaki, unaweka X. Already that is a spoiled vote. And we will reject it as IBC. So, in terms of civic education, we are coming out, kuwa mashinani tena, tutakuja, the voter education directorate will bring out voter educators, God willing, whereby we will sensitize, we will teach you how to vote. Like I said, ukikuja kwa ofisi yangu, I have something like a form, nakunja na kuuliza, do you need assistance during voting? Because when you sign that form ya register as a voter, there is a part that says, whether you need assistance during voting. Please remember, ukisema saa hii no, alafu ukuje kwa polling station uambie PO ati yes, we will wonder. And yes, many Kenyans do come, na amesoma, na amehitimu kila kitu anataka. Lakini atakuja aseme, yeye hajasoma, anahitaji usaidizi. The reason ndio maybe the agents when of a certain candidate or the candidates involved waone kile anafanya. So again, it comes from us, the voters. Let us trust each other. Ya kwamba, do your part. Wewe fanya tu yako. Wewe vote decisively again. Uamuzi ni wako. Ni wewe unapewa hizo stakabadhi za ballot papers. Go vote. Regesha. Bas. That is it. When we don't do our work, then you can highlight and say, IBC, you didn't do this. You didn't do this. But we never have agents. For us, our agents are the PO and the DPO and the clerks. Those are our officials. Sisi ndio tunasimama hapo, tunawafanyia kazi, but we need you to support us. Hatuwezi fanya hii kazi peke yetu. We need you. Nyinyi ndio tunahitaji. Na bila nyinyi, sisi hatuko. You are our first clients. Now, when it comes to, she talked about data protection.
Yes.
There's a Data Protection Act at the moment, up and running, and it's active. When it comes to the iris capture, again, the iris capture was the second biometric recognition, as you heard from a colleague who worked previously with us. Ni kwamba when the voters come in, they stream in. We only had, during the 2022 elections, we only had the fingerprints as the main biometric identification, or sawa. And some people wamefanya kazi mpaka hazionekani anymore. Unapata mtu hapa imekuwa soft, imeisha. So again, the iris is in the constitution, where it was not implemented previously because of this machines that we had. Now that we have the KIEMS kit, it is utilizing all that. We also, in the KIEMS kit, there is something called an NFC. NFC ni kama ile yenye iko kwa, it's a chip that is embedded in an ID. So if we were at that stage of IDs, we will be able to use that function as well. But of now, we are capturing the iris just in case. Tunasemanga just in case. Kwa sababu tunawapenda voters, tunasema ya kwamba if the fingers will not work, we will use the iris. Na bado hiyo iris inasumbua. Because of the elderly, especially with the elderly, inasumbua. Ya kwamba you have to make sure the person has opened their eyes. Saa zingine high capture because of the age, na hao tu ndio bado fingerprints hazifanyi nini? Hazifanyi. But all that, we take it up and we ensure that we capture, as long as ateri nipate moja. And I always say wherever I go, kama nimechukua one finger, especially for now the youths, mostly amfanyi kazi nzito, but the rest of the population ya voters, wenye who applied, who are voters before and are working really hard, tunajenga wote uchumi ya nchi, lakini kidogo fingerprints zimeisha. When we capture that one, tunakuambia unaona hiyo kidole, hakikisha haijagwarizika zaidi, so that when you come during election, tunakuambia ile kidole uliambiwa uwekele ni gani, ni hii. Kama ni hii, hata the small finger, si tunashika zote. We capture all the fingers. You can use any finger, as long as it identifies you. Na kitambulisho ni chako. You don't come with a voter's card to vote. You come with the ID. The ID is the one. Unaweza patia mtu yote ID yako? No. So, the ID ndio msema kweli. Ya kwamba when you come, kindly, when it is now voting, you will issue out your ID to the clerk, and the clerk will say, ekelea kidole. Amesema kidole. So hajasema hii peke yake. Sawa? Kidole tulichukua zote 10, sio? And for our brothers and sisters, PWDs, again, that is why the iris was brought in, so that in case na kuna accidents, I think I had 2 voters just the other day. They came to the office because now they are changing. Unaona ile opinion ya kusema kuna mahali tunauliza, are you disabled or are you si kuna mali tunauliza physically, visually, hearing na kuna nyingine ziko 4 and others, so that ile hatuoni mnaweza tuandikia na special notes. So 2 voters came in 2022, walikuwa wazima vile tuko sisi sasa hivi, but because of unajua saa zingine accidents nobody knows. Sawa. Sasa hivi wakasikia juu ya iris capture. So nini, mikono hakuna. But do you chase that voter out? No. We did what? We recaptured. Now we said, so mtu akienda kwa polling station na saa ile amekuja amesema ni iris peke yake, you cannot vote with a finger. Utaambua stand there, let us take your iris. Yes, that is all I can say. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I will come to questions. I'm about to open up the floor for the questions. So just hold your questions, and in case you have any questions, also just hold them. I'm about to open it up kidogo because I understand Madam Pelo has to leave. But I'll come back to Mr. Mwangi. And Mr. Ojwang was able to raise some very important questions like the youth policy. What is the progress of the youth policy so far in Nakuru County? And he mentioned that it seems as if there was not public participation in terms of young people, again, being part of the conversation before there was even a youth policy. So what can you tell us about the progress of that youth policy, and how is it going to be beneficial to the young people of Nakuru?
Okay, thank you for that question. One, I know the county government has a youth policy, and it's important to mention that the youth policy, together with the sport policy, we had initially borrowed from the national government, because you know the county government, it's been mandated by the national government to work or to perform the duties of sports and youth. So one of the issues is that it's true we have a youth policy, but we were asked to borrow some of the things so that from the national government, so that it can align as we prepare our own youth policy. It can align with the national government policy. It's in the process, but I think in a few weeks or months to come, we were supposed to engage the youth. Maybe they can omit or add one of a few things, but initially the youth policy itself, we had borrowed it from the national government. So maybe in the next few weeks, maybe will be advertised, the youth can be engaged, and then they will know the position.
That's a maybe. That does not sound very sure. The youth of Nakuru want to be sure.
No, I'm saying maybe in terms of the dates. I'm not sure of the dates, but
okay.
I know they will be engaged.
How? Do we have?
They will be informed, and then they'll be what is it called? They'll be called for participation, public participation, so that they can engage with the document. Yes.
Okay. Sawa. I want us to open up the floor now for any questions that you might have, especially towards IEBC, because she needs to leave. So I will start with our sir over there. Can I get a mic to him, Mama? You can just. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A question about over thorough PWD inclusion, because there could be blind people that want to vote.
Now, blindness unless kama kabisa imefungwa macho. But as long as your eyes are open, we still capture the iris. Ni mboni tu tunataka. The dark circle is all we need. Sawa sawa. So at times, blindness can, I'm not a doctor as such, but I'll say is at times what is what makes us blind or is maybe the blind spot, so it doesn't affect the iris. But as long as the eye is open, we capture it. And I've had 5 cases of that, and they've been very happy. Yes, they felt like kumbe ninaonanga. Yeah, you understand? Yeah, yes, please. Yes, sir. Very well. Personally here, I am a sign interpreter. Ukikuja kwa ofisi yangu. And especially watu wa 58 free area, I know them. They are from wengi ni kutoka hapo. I know that they come from that side. And pia hapa hivi, hapa chini karibu na Bondeni. Unaona hapo Bondeni karibu na youth. I know many of them as well from there. So as of sign language, we really try to, okay, mimi peke yangu siwezi, because I'm alone in the constituency. I am with my arrow. But when it comes to now sign language, we tend to, although they are very shy, our deaf, our hearing impaired brothers are very shy. Unamwongelesha kama hajui ku lip sync, imagine anakuachanisha. And they feel bad that you're not including them. Hata eri tu sema hello kawaida, hello, and you pretend to talk slowly. It will be better. When you find out that somebody is deaf, you tend to speak slowly. But ukiongea haraka, anatoka na hata registration afanyi, ameenda. But when you show them, you can come in, you can, like now we have the ECVR that will be launched on the 30th. I'll try and teach my clerks, because the PWDs hawataki pia kufanya kazi. Acha tu niseme sasa mbele ya.
They don't want, or there is because they are not able to?
Some are able to. Like the deaf, they are able to. Even the ones physically, they are able to. Nadanganya? Haya. The blind, kidogo, I'll keep them in the office, although we have braille. They can do voter education. Those ones we put them in voter education. We have a voter educators book for the blind. But those, the two, the physically and the hearing, they can really work with us. But when you hire them, you'll always find them sidelining themselves or side buying you and telling you, hii sitaweza, can you give another person? And I do not know why, but I would wish. Right now I have one who is physically, na bado tu anasema sitaki, and according to the constitution, I must hire at least 2. Yes. Yes, sir.
Any other question directed? Let's start with the questions about the IBC so that we can release her. Yes, sir.
My question is about boundaries. What are the determinants of a boundary? Like, let's say for a ward, you find like a ward has 4 or 5 polling stations, like Baruku, and you find like Biashara ward has a lot of polling station, or it is too big. So you find the money that is given out is the same kind of money. So you find less people, more money. Then you find more people, more money. Like for Biashara, for you to run as an MCA, it is equivalent to an AP somewhere else, because it is too big and it is concentrated. So what are the factors that determine the size of a ward or a constituency?
Thank you.
Now, the boundaries and
maybe another question from him.
On regarding the youth, now recently we have seen in Kasipul that's the only time that, to my recollection, where the IBC find candidates. Yeah. Now, how strict is on campaign financing? Because the issue of campaign financing really disenfranchises youth. So how strict are you? Is it just on paper? Two, on the election date, most youths are the ones that are being given those positions, clerks, DPO, EVO. But maybe there is you know those staff wako wengi. So you find that I may be at St. Saviour's, but I'm being placed maybe Nairobi Road. You see, it's kind of logistically difficult to vote, and that is there are very many people. So how are you handling that?
Right. And we have the third question from ma'am there.
Okay, my question is somebody with mental illness allowed to vote? For example, unaona nakuja na mtu ambao anaonekana amechanganyikiwa, ajielewi, lakini naleta ili apige kura, inakubalika?
Oh, wow. Thank you. Maybe you can start answering the last question. Are the mentally challenged citizens allowed to vote?
First of all, katiba inasema for you to be a registered voter, you must be of sound mind. That is regulation 14 or 13. It says that. So how do we know that you are of sound mind? First, tunauliza tu maswali. Where are you from? Nini? When we question you, we are able to know if you are hata we unajielewa, si ndio? Now, but when you come, if the constitution prohibits me from registering a person of unsound mind, then that person cannot be able to vote because they cannot make their own informed decisions. Hapa tunasema ni kwamba when you go vote, ni wewe unajiamulia. Think, uamue, vote wisely, na unatoka tu. Yes, but when you come in and say, I am assisting this person of unsound mind, we will really not allow such. Although sometimes you can be a voter and then maybe in life such instances happen, we will always not allow it again. Yes.
Then that raises the question of exclusion.
No, because the constitution really prohibits inakataa. It says they are not allowed kwa sababu they cannot make their informed decisions. Here we are going with how you can make your informed decisions. Yes, we have assisted voters. For example, those who do not know how to read, but they come with somebody from home. And this is, they will say, mimi sijui kusoma, but nimekuja na huyu. So when they come in, we put a mark for the assisted, to the voter, tunaweka kwa the right finger, sindio kama kawaida. And then in the small finger, and then for the assisted voter, tunaweka katikati ya the two fingers. Kusema ya kwamba, amesaidiana. Sawa sawa? Yes, and we help. Okay. And the only person allowed to assist that voter ni huyo mtu amekuja na yeye. No agent, no IBC official. Yes.
Right. There was a question from the gentleman about campaign funding. How is the IBC going about campaign funding? Is it your mandate anyway?
Yes.
Yes.
Before it was there, but because of the lawmakers being lawmakers, there has, even for the qualifications of how to be an MCA, MP, at makaratasi gani zinahitajika, how much of learned people we need out there, that is qualifications, sindio? Again, there are so many laws or so many laws that IBC presents to Parliament and they are not passed. So all that is now with the lawmakers themselves. sometimes they even I don't know whether you remember in 2022 the use of the register we had initially removed, and then we took the bill to Parliament, and we were told to use as it were in 2017. We issued the registers. On the day of the election, the law was passed that we should not use the registers. How much of an inconvenience it was. Tulirudisha registers at a speed of lightning because of the court. Yes, so we go as per what the court says. And once we present the bills, the laws, sometimes they take too long back at the election day. So you are caught in, what should I do? Yes, yes. So IBC at times it's caught in, what should we do? Yes.
And there was the issue or the question raised about what are the determinants of the boundaries, and what is the criteria that the IEBC gets to use to determine what goes to what boundary. Talk to us a little bit about the B part of the IEBC.
Now we are using I think the 2010 boundaries. If I can, I'm not sure about this. I'll get back to you on this. But boundaries are now, apparently we are not doing boundaries and delimitation because of the elections being very near. Pili, when it comes to boundaries, we come to now wazee wa kitambo. They know where their boundaries were. Now here we don't involve much of the youth. Tunakuja kwa wale wazee wa kongwe kidogo and ask them, at times you will find a boundary separated by a road, a river, schools, and even a mere path that people used to walk. Those are the three things that separate boundaries. And utaambiwa ukitoka hii barabara from this road to the other side, that is west. This road to this side, that is east. Now, when it comes to population, you asked about population and number of polling stations. Again, it's how much the area has grown. When you look at Biashara ward, the number of schools that are in Biashara ward are so many, and it's so small when you compare it with another ward called Nakuru East. Kutoka free area mpaka Wanyama ni shule kidogo. Uongo kweli? Very little schools or few schools, unlike Biashara ward, which has an extraordinary population of almost 30-something voters, and they are still adding. And Nakuru East, with the vastness, it comes second after Biashara. Yes, and Biashara unaweza maliza na an hour, if I'm not wrong. I can finish with 1 hour Biashara ward, but Nakuru East nitafika by the time narudi imekuwa jioni. Yes, until I reach Rhino Secondary, Rhino Primary, it will be evening when I come back here.
Awesome.
Yes, yes.
Kwa hivyo malengo ya IBC na Nakuru County in general, how many voters are you targeting to recruit in the mass voter registration? And so far, what can you tell us? How many have been able to?
Now, again, I'll speak from my constituency. The targets I was given for the CVR was 3,580. So far, I have registered 3,134. That was as of 9th of March.
Okay.
That is really a good number. Given a percentage, it will be maybe 88%, 87.5%, or 86%. That is really good. And all this has been attributed to partnering with groups like Pawa 254, Midrift, former student leaders. Former student leaders are also coming out really largely, not really to be voted for, but wanakuja kuambia mayouth watoke. And that has also driven our numbers, and also partnering with our stakeholders who are our politicians, that is not really politicians per se, but they would come in and say, I would want you to come to my ward to register. Maybe they have a chief, they have a meeting in the chief camp hapo tu kwa chief. We will go there, register. At social halls, for example, if they have meetings, I'll always call, do you have meetings today scheduled in this week? I go there, whether I'm paid or not. Yes.
All right. Kuna mtu ambaye ako na swali ya Miss Pello for IBC so that we can let her go. Yes, sir. Can I get a microphone to the gentleman in brown?
Sema hapo kuhusu piga kura bila ID. But
Yes, sir.
inakuwa difficult to us. Huwezi pata ID, inakuwa ngumu. Ama for example kuna watu till last year tuko na waiting mpaka leo hii but hatujaipata ID. Tutapigaje saa kura bila ID? Na for example ID inakuja for example na picha ya mtu mwingine, details ni zako but ID ni za mtu mwingine. So tuambie nani ndo anafai kusika na ID, vitu kama hizo.
Very nice. Very nice
question. Yes.
Haya kidogo kitambulisho, that will be another ministry that is for IDs. That is now to the
Mr.
county representative here.
Yes, you are representing the youth.
Yes.
Please tell us.
Thank you.
I think the question is a good question, but it doesn't it doesn't concern the county government. The IDs are part of registration of persons within the national government. The county government, we don't deal with the registration. We only do registration of CBOs, but not persons.
But there has to be a way.
I will think
yeah.
it would be now you lie us out with your chiefs. Nadhani information kidogo inatoka kwa chiefs and then now it goes back to unatumwa pale kwa register of persons. That is where you complete the process and keep checking. Labda ziko huduma center ama ziko kwa chief. Go sign to your kitabu, pewa ID. That is it.
Is in the work of a chief officer of youth to ensure that anything that concerns young people, like he has been able to raise, that imechukuliwa mumewashikilia mayouth and you are actually being able to address some of the concerns that they have.
Yeah, it's true. The chief of one of his mandate is to make sure that he deals with the youth, but matters concerning national registration, that's a matter which is under the mandate of the national government. So there's no way our chief officer can work to make sure that the youth have registered or have received their national identification.
That's not a very satisfactory.
As we're looking for another person, I have the same question to you. And there is this aspect of working multi-agency and intergovernmental relationships that you have as governments, which I think in this case the best would be you liaising because you represent the youth. This is the discrepancy of the youth ama the naitwaje malalamiko. Yeah, the youth that the issue ni 1, 2, 3 ni hizi. How can we now work together, multi-agency and multi-government, the intergovernmental relations? Because I know for a fact, umesema ni county government, they don't do that. But of course, you're also serving these constituents of the youth in this case, which means it's also partly your responsibility to ensure that their issues at least get answers in this case.
Yeah, it's true. Like you have mentioned, we have multi-agencies, departments which we usually work close with. But what we can do is just advise the multi-agency. Maybe, for instance, the office of the DCC. We can communicate the DCC because the DCC is the head of a constituency or a sub-county. And then he can direct his servicemen in the department of registration, or even the chiefs.
the best we can do as a county is just to ask the department concerned to fast track and make sure that the youths get their IDs.
Yeah, and you have to come back and give us the report on how that is going. At this juncture, I want to welcome Mr. Edwin Mukala. He is the MCA aspirant of Menengai Ward to join us on the panel as we continue our discussion today. And I want to bring back the conversation to Mr. Mwangi, right? You've heard what the constituents have said. I think there is such a long way to go in terms of creating safe spaces for young people to really, truly be included when it comes to democratic and governance issues. So ni mbinu gani zenye mumeweka ama ni mikakati gani zenye mumeweka kwa county government to ensure that young people are actually included, like now directly? Yes.
Included in terms of?
In terms of governance, whether it be political education, civic education, conversations, is anything happening within that context?
It's true. The county government is working in collaboration with various agencies. For instance, we have a department like one of my colleagues that said earlier. We have a department of public participation and citizen engagement, which we usually go around the county, engaging the youths and teaching them about their civic rights, about paying even their...
Mr. Ojwang is saying no. He said no, I relate.
It's true, the department is there, but he can confirm that the department is there. But what he may doubt or dispute is that the department might not be that active. Like he had mentioned earlier, it is not well funded, so it means that the department needs to have more funding so that it can do it. But through other agencies, which we normally do cooperation with, maybe like CGG, Midrift, those are some of the NGOs that we usually work together with. Yes, in the county government.
We will come back to you, but I want us to hear from Mr. Edwin Mukala. Come 2027, you're vying for MCA. And I want you to speak to your potential voters. Why should they vote for you come 2027? And especially speak to the issue of youth. You know, we are here at a forum and you can hear the very many ways that young people are challenged, especially when it comes to governance related issues. So yeah, what is your promise for young people of Nakuru, if at all they get to actually go and get to vote for you come 2027?
Thank you. My name is Edwin Azangu Ukala, an aspirant to Menengai Ward. And you know, youth are the key in this coming election. And I have a claim that youth first, before we talk about what we like to do, that they should turn out and take a voting card. So that one will give me a mandate to work for youth. That is number one. And number two, we need to come together as youth. We need to come together and know our purpose. That malengo yetu ni gani? Ni nini sisi kama sisi tunataka? Because somebody talked about something here which is very crucial, that tukionekana kama wanasiasa, ile kitu na bling kwa mawazo yetu ni kwamba we need something. Lakini tunaweza kaa na tuengage, tuwe na sehemu nzuri ya kujadiliana yale mambo mnataka kama vijana wa nchi na kama vijana wa Nakuru. Na priorities zinadifa kidogo. Kuna wale wana deal na art, kuna wale wana deal na football, kuna wale wana deal na mambo ya sports. So priorities zinadifa. But I believe tukikaa chini kwanza, tujue malengo yenu ni gani, we are able to do something for you.
Again, I want to open the floor to questions. Now that the aspirant, MCA aspirant is here, you can ask him directly. Yes, gentlemen, can I get microphone to go to that gentleman. Who else, by a show of hands, wants to? The lady. So we'll start with the gentleman here, then the lady at the back.
Mine is going to everybody in the room. First, I'll address the keywords each one of us is using. There's a lot of maybes from him and a lot of buts. And then at first you said what you'll do to us as youths. We want us to do for us. Don't do anything to us we're okay. Alafu, I'm just asking, when tunapewa mic and you're going to ask a question, please let's use common sense, because we're also consuming time. We have to be somewhere. Myself, I'm a transfer voter from Machakos, but I have a contract here, so I have to be here for a few years. So I'm going to be voting here. So as we ask questions, maybe you're the MCA and I'm bitter with you, but then my bitterness, what is affecting me is actually the governor. So if I'm from East and I'm supposed to vote for you and you're not from my area, I shouldn't pressure you. Maybe we should ask questions towards the governor. But if I have a question for you, I should direct it to you. And because I wouldn't really, like the lady who said about a mentally disabled person, that was not a good question, because who would be happy if I told a mentally disabled person to make a decision for you? Unaona? Hiyo ilikuwa ni question sikuona why it will be asked. Yes, when it comes to census, they matter. But then it's us in this quorum. We have come here for the civil education to know how we are going to vote, to know what we're supposed to do to help that mentally person to get their basic rights, to get health. Unaelewa? But let's not ask that a mentally challenged person will make a decision. It doesn't really make sense.
Okay, so what, do you have a question or you just wanted to comment?
What I'm asking is,
yeah.
I'm directing this to the governor, because me, when I vote, probably I'm voting from the East. Whoever I'm supposed to ask, that is my MCA, Ayuko hapa, my MP is not here, but to the governor, because now that will affect my job.
Mm-hmm.
Because my job, I think it's going to affect the finances of Nakuru as a whole. Because now my economics are in Nakuru. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking, can I have less buts and better explanations? Like when you say that you have the empowerment for youth, kuna hiyo department imetengwa. How does it do? Like when we have these tournaments za football, do you guys have like a small tent where the interested persons wanakuja wanakaa mnawa educate? Because hata sisi as youths kitu najua, we are very ignorant. We have passive listening. Hata sahi hapa kuna mtu akona passive listening. Hapa tu tutaenda tea break ama tuende tu kuongea later. No one will know which questions were asked, what was discussed. Mm-hmm. And then the interest. Are we really interested as youths? Uko na TikTok, uko kwa TikTok like the whole day. Did you go online and try to look, is there something online that has been posted according to my rights, or something I should be knowing about my county, about the billings that go on in my county? Ama unaleta yangu bili yako ya maji, yangu ni 600. Do you know how much per token? How much per unit your bill is coming to?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. There is a lady at the back. Kindly raise your hand so that the mic can be circulated to you. The one next there. She had raised her hand. No? Okay. Does anybody have a question? Okay, sir. Come back to you. And where are the ladies? Ladies. Hamna maswali. We will talk about gender mainstreaming, and I'll ask you that question. Yes, sir.
My question for the MCA aspirant is like right now we have 75 MCAs in Nakuru County. Out of those 75 MCAs, in 4 years that they've been in office, they've only passed 3 bills. And 2 of the bills that they passed were compulsory bills. So it is the worst parliament ever. Oversight, they failed. Let's say you as a MCA, you find yourself in that kind of a house, what will you do? Ama utaingia tu na hiyo genge uko kama hao wengine?
All right, you can address that question. Issues of oversight failures, 75 MCAs in Nakuru, but only 3 bills to show for over the past 4 years. What differently? How differently will you do? And give us a stock take of how you think the MCAs are doing so far.
Well, thank you. Brother, naweza penda ieleweke hivi ya kwamba ni vizuri wakati sisi ambayo tulio na nguvu, ambayo sisi ndio tunachagua, tuko na fursa ya kujua tunachagua akina nani. At least hiyo inakuwa kitu ya maana sana, kwa sababu tusipojua ni nani tutachagua, na msinichague kwa sababu ya koti, msinichague mniambie enda jengea mama yako, that is a legislation house. Na kama utatuma mtu mwenye hawezi simama kiyeye kwa kuwakilisha wewe, because the role of the MCA ni similar to zile za parliament, the national government, kwamba mimi unanituma nifanye representation yako. Kwa hivyo nikiwa bunge pale, niko pale kwa sababu yako, sijioni mimi. Number 2, niko pale kama legislature, ya kwamba nitunge sheria zile zinakusaidia wewe kama mkaaji wa ward yangu ama eneo langu la Nakuru County. Na number 3, inafaa nifanye oversight. Hii oversight nafanya ni zile bills tumepitisha huko za miradi ambayo inatakana ikuja katika eneo bunge. Kwa hivyo mimi nafanya follow up ya kuzifuatilia zinafanyika baada ya pesa kutoka katika county government. Wakati tulianza kusema tunamwaga maram, tunatengeneza drainage, am I following up hizo? Na zile shida zenye ziko kama wakati tunapitisha bills, ni am I able to stand strong na kusema this is wrong na tutafanya hivi? Unajua, it's upon you kama voters kuchukua responsibility na kutafuta the right people who can represent you. Remember, mimi ninafanya hiyo mambo yote kwa niaba yako. Kwa hivyo kama sijafika viwango, unipe, na tusipotozwe na wakati wenye kunakuwa na wave inakujaga hapa inasema political party ama huyu jamani mweupe sana, wacha tumpe. That one is wrong. We are dealing of an issue ya miaka mingapi? 5. That's saizi unaona hiyo yenye unalia, hata mimi niko ndani ya hiyo tunalia tukiwa wote, because kama bill 3 ndio zimepitishwa, meaning the parliament has failed us, but you have a way of rectifying that. That is all I can say. Thank you.
Right. The gentleman in front here had a concern about the language that government officials speak to their people, and you could address some of his concerns. He wants to be talked to to be spoken to in a more affirmative, to be more in the affirmative and avoid the maybes and the buts.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think vile amesema ni kama he wants to put it as if I don't have the facts, kwa sababu amesema I'm saying a lot of maybe and buts, but it's true. I don't want to say something like I said before, we'll engage the youth, mambo na youth policy, and I said maybe in terms of the dates, not that inaweza fanyika ama ikose, but I was not sure kama ni lini ama lini, but I'm very sure it will happen. That's why ulisikia nikisema but ama maybe, but whatever I'm saying in terms of this in terms of what we have asked, ni kitu ambao the county government is doing, na vile kijana pale alikuwa ameuliza about registration ya watu wenye hawajapata IDs, the fact is it's not a concern of the county government, hiyo iko kwa national government. Yeah, ukiangalia mandates za county government and national government unaweza elewa zaidi. And it's also important to mention here that the county government is doing youth empowerment. Vijana wengi sijui kama nyinyi mmehusika, but through your MCS we usually have a fund ambayo tunafanya youth empowerment. We buy a lot of things. You meet to do a public participation together with your MCA and the ward administrators. You can say that you want a particular amount. You have been given a particular amount in your ward. Munasema what you want.
maybe you want car wash machines, ama mnataka tents, ama chairs, there's a list of several things zenye mnaitisha pale. Then a minute, let me just finish. And then mnaitisha. At the same time, you have a youth fund, sports fund I mean, ambaye each and every ward wamepewa 500,000 to purchase equipments, sports equipments kama mipira ama uniform, anything to do with the sports, ikuwe hata ni pool tables, anything that inahusika na sports. So it's important to know that. At the same time, also the people living with disabilities, they also have their own fund ambaye inakuwa captured kwa every ward, lakini most of the time unapata the fund itself, because fund si ya mtu yoyote, ni wale watu ambao wako registered na national people living with disability. We usually engage them na wanatuambia what they want. Maybe most of them wanasema wanataka kufunguliwa biashara, maybe they have been given a startup capital. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sio zote kwa social media, but kama you have been keen, most of the time we usually have a road show. Not really a road show, but a speaker, Aka can go around. A road show, it will be more detailed, but Aka can go around advertising and informing the people of Nakuru that we have a public participation.
Sisi kwa miaka 4 tujaiona. Ama kuna mtu ashaiona.
Yeah. By show of hands, who has ever seen any
road show,
public
participation
information about public participation? There you have it. So munafamu. Okay. So sawa. So this is great. Okay, so let's do this systemically. So we will start with the gentleman at the back, then we will come to you, and then we will come to you. Okay, so can I have the microphone go to the gentleman at the back, kindly? This is the importance of such forums, to get your voices heard. Yes.
My concern is on the county government part. You see, for the longest time our county government has done things the way they want, not the way they are supposed to. Under the county government's schedule, you have a sole mandate to communicate. And you also have a sole mandate, a whole chapter about civic education. You allocate funds for that. The only time tunaonaga gari ikizunguka ikitangaza ni wakati Susan anakuja na Ogade, watu watapewa 300. That's the only time you will dispatch vehicle ite. Secondly, public participation. As a county, you have under communications, you have the mandate to publish and publicize that information. Mtu mwenye kureso yuko ndani, mukipost kwa website yenyu kutakuwa na public participation, ataionea wapi? Wakati governor anataka kusema, you know, I've done A, B, C, D, this and this, siwa anakuja ground ama siwa na watu wake. Nowadays media stations. Kwa nini wakati tuko na public participation, hiyo nguvu wenye mnatumia on these other times, why don't you use on it the same? Thirdly, muna announce public participation leo, public participation ni on Friday. We go for that public participation that Friday morning, munatupea a booklet 300 pages. Within 2 hours unataka nikuwe nimesoma those 300 pages ni kupea yangu, haiwezekani. I'll just be honest, public participation in Nakuru County mostly imekuwa tu just to rubber stamp. Mnataka tu because hata hizo public participation mingi watu na wase they do is wapeane list to sign. We are signing yet hata tujapeana input yetu. So after sign hata uandike vitu zenyu kwamba waliamua hivi na hivi na hivi. It's just like you are rubber stamping that because you are supposed to hold a public participation, mnafanya for the sake ya kuifanya. We need public participation ifanywe the correct way. Meaningful public participation. Kama right now the national government is inafanya public participation bill. Ilianza kuannouncewa last month. Na wame decentralize. Ya Nakuru itafanyika on Friday. The information is there. Wame publicize. At least watu wengi wanajua. Ya county it never happens. You've talked about sports kits and huo mwenye amekaa hapo kando yako ata ni witness kwamba in these public participations tunaendaga tunasema this amount iekewe hii kazi, and then you people in your own wisdom munakaaga chini, munaona hiyo pesa haifai kutumika huko, munaidivert, munapeleka kwa kitu kingine. Hatukuwa mafala tukisema hiyo hospitali tunaiallocatea 8 million. We had reasons as to why tulikuwa tunasema hiyo hospitali tunaiallocatea 8 million. So nyinyi mkienda mkae pande yenu na muamue sasa hii 8 million haitaenda kwa hiyo hospitali. Hiyo hospitali tutaipea 6 million. Then hii 2 million tutataka tuipeleke mahali penye sisi wenyewe hatujui. The essence of public participation ililetwa so that the developments are owned. Ni sisi tunazisema, tunajaji hapa kitu fulani na we own that development. Lakini nyinyi mkikaa chini mwanze kufanya vitu in your own, yes, maybe unaona mvua ilinyesha tunahitaji kupeleka pesa fulani ama kufanya ABCD. Unaona? Hivyo vile mlituita public participation mkatuambia tuseme zile developments zetu wataka. The same way before mdivert hiyo pesa yetu. Tuiteni pia bado mtuambie sasa muleka 8 million hapa lakini emergency imetokea tunahitaji 2 million malifla. Wacha sisi pia tuiraba stamp. Let's also be in the know-how ni nini munafanya. How many border sheds do we have kwa nini? Kwa let's talk about Nakuru East. Hizo border sheds ni mingi sana. Border sheds mingi na wasewapiki wengi hawatumii hizo border sheds. Border shed imetengenezwa hapa lakini watu wapiki wanasimamaga pale. Ndio customer akitokea. Unaona? Why do we keep on doing the same thing over and over again? So please, hapa kwa issue of public participation. Vijana wakuji public participation because one, you don't advertise. Mukisema mmeiweka kwa Kenya Gazette na mmepublish kwa website, si vijana wote wanaingiaga kwa website. Actually, vijana huingia kwa website wakati kazi zimeannouncewa. Kweli ama uongo? Wakati kazi imeannouncewa ndio watakimbia kwa website. Unaona? Find a way as a county government, mko na resources na you have the sole mandate ya kufanya civic education. Hizi organizations zingine zinafanya top up, zinawasaidia, unaona, but try as much as you can as a county government to educate the public mkishinda mkituambia tunafanya ABCD, hakuna ile siku we are going to have a problem with you guys. Lakini mkinyamaza and then senye kamenuka ndio mnaanza kusema unajua tunafanya hivi na hivi na hivi. Don't be reactive. Unaona, don't be reactive. Kuweni tu open and we are going to support you.
Thank you. There's a gentleman behind there who wanted to air his views. Kili, may I get a microphone to him?
Hadi amesema yote. Lakini kitu mimi naweza sema nini? Hii public participation hii bado mnatupimaga tu kweli. Juu nimejaribu kwenda mara mbili, napatana tu na wazee wako karibu 70-80 huko hivyo, na wanakuwa tu na group zao kaa 2 ama 3. Hao ndo wanafaidikaga tu. Mnatoka hivi wanatoka na masufuria huko hivyo na mamuiko, au wanaenda au tu ndo wanajijengaga. Unapata mtu amenunua shamba ama kiploti na hizo doza public party. Alafu sisi majenzi senye sisi tunanukisha hapa hivi na kuwa tena nini? Ati sisi ni watiaji. Sisi si watiaji. Inafaa tu mnatupeleka na rada vile inafaa. Lakini mimi naweza sema tu hivyo. Jua wenye wanaenda tu hizi public participation ukweli ni watu wenye hata sasa mimi naweza kuonesha ni kina nani, au tu ndo wanaendaga na wameishi kuenda na bado tu tunajua tu bado wataenda. Sawa.
Sawa.
Ni hivyo tu.
Hapo sawa. So we'll come to you. So kindly respond. The members have spoken. There's so many things you have to get to addressing. There's the issue of communicating good time. Mbona hamwezi tuita leo alafu kesho unexpect tunakam. Then there's the issue of you have the mandate to publish and publicize the information about public participation. And actually, yes, it is an constitutional right for you to have public information and access for that as well. So how do you go about that? Then there's the issue of public money being diverted kwa vitu zenye hazihusu Mkenya wa kawaida. How do you go about addressing such issues? Yes, and then finally on his issue that how do we decentralize public participation from the usual faces, voices, names to it actually being for the public? It would be very refreshing to see a diverse group of people every time there are this public forum. So this question I believe is directed to you, Mr. Mwangi. The floor is yours.
So thank you for that question. I think nitaanza kujibu na gentleman mwenye ako pale kwa kona. Wana amesema ya kwamba this public participation most of the time tuna publish size ama tuna advertise kwa media ama website ya county government. Like I had mentioned before, it's not the county government website peke yake, nisema pia kwa social media pia ziko. At the same time, it's unfortunately kama hujakutana nayo na the vehicle yenye inazunguka ikifanya advertisement, but we usually do. There's another question alikuwa ameuliza about the time frame. Anasema tuna advertise within a very short period and then the public participation inafanyika 2 or 3 days later. To be sincere, we usually give a maximum, let me not be specific na time, but I'm sure a week inakuwaga enough for advertisement ya the venue and also the event itafanyika wapi. So within a week, I think, and we usually advertise sana hata kwa makanisa na hata mahali tunasaidiana na chief pia ku do the information na kupeana advertisement. A week is not sio siku chache ya kutangaza, so I think okay. Sawa, we'll work on that. Siwezi sema tutapeana siku nyingi because it's a program ambayo inatoka kwa ofisi pale, but I'm very sure they can work on that. Let me also speak on the diverts of funds. It's true you have mentioned kwamba kuna funds maybe you have allocated for a certain project and then unakuta imekuwa diverted. It's good to mention and also to know that tukiwaita pia public participation, kuna ile pesa ambayo mnasema maybe we want 2 million for maybe daraja ama or something. We have our expert also ambayo wanafanya kazi kwa ofisi ya public works. We have our engineers, we have our quantity surveyors ambayo wanaweza kuja kwa ground na waangalie the amount ambayo hiyo kazi inaweza fanyika. It's true you might even over naitwa nini kuweka pesa zaidi ama undercharge it. So when ukiona kama kitu mko mmeweka maybe 8 million na imerudi chini, according to the contractor ambaye not to the contractor, to the engineer ambaye ametoka county, he can come and access that kind of work na ajue itafanyika na a certain amount. That's why you find yourself mnasema mko mmeweka another money ikakuwa nyingi alafu imepunguzwa. At the same time pia mnaweza kuwa mmeweka pesa nyingi ama pesa kidogo, mkute pia after assessment na kuangalia that project you can see it cannot happen with that amount which have been allocated, unakuta imeongezewa zaidi. So it's not diversion of funds. At the same time pia ningependa pia kuwajulisha we have something called validation. After public participation tumewaita kuambia that you decide on the project that you want. Wale ambao wanakujaga validation ni kuja kuwaita tena na kuwaambia ama kuwauliza, is this the project that you choose? Nani amekuwa kienda validation na public participation? Si mnajua pia kuna validation. So validation is to tell you guys ya kwamba mulichagua this project na hizi ndio tunapitisha na kuhakikisha hizi ndio county itafanya. We have the public participation, you propose the project that you want. At the same time we call you back after a few weeks. Tunasema hizi ndio project mulichagua na mulipitisha. I think I've mentioned something to do with communication in good time, public information. Yeah, kijana ameuliza pale kuhusu the same group of people ndo wanakuja public participation. It's true. Unaweza pata there's a group of people who are well conversant na mambo ya public participation ama they have interest in those public participation. We usually invite everyone. Now we don't select a particular group wakuja kwa public participation, but you might find kwamba kuna wale ambao wanakujaga daily and it's not like they are being given something ndio wakuje ama wanakuwa motivated ndio wakuje, but because they have interest with their projects or their monies. Lakini the public participation ni invitation ya every member of the public. So hakuna siku tumechagua watu fulani wakuje. So everyone is invited. Hiyo mambo ya decentralization ya public participation, I think ndio nimesema kuhusu everyone to attend. Sidhani kuna kitu nilikuwa miss. Someone is raising his hand up.
I think that's there was the issue of it seems as if it's just for rubber stamping. Mnakuja mnapeana pesa kuonyeshana that yeah it happened, but yeah
to make it clear, we don't give any money during public participation. I think amesema tunapeana pesa.
Is done even before. So once we sign and we append my signature and my number that I've attended that. Hata vikao vya maziani bwana atutoke kwenda. Itakuwa the signature that is there. So itakuwa public participation.
For the purpose of audit queries because we have audits, external and internal audits, there is no way you see that's a budget. Any public participation inafanyika, we need to have the tents, we need maybe to hire a hall kama hapa, we buy some few maji soda hapo. So wakati auditors wanakuja kuangalia is this public participation happen, did it happen? So ukiona umesign inamaanisha even that's why you write your numbers there. The auditors can confirm and call you na kuulize, did you attend a public participation such and such a day, ama kitu kama hiyo. So we don't just usually allow people to sign for the purpose of it. There are so many things behind it. Usually signing of the document ama of the attendance list is usually passed around when the public participation inaendelea. There is no instances huwa tunataka watu kila mtu register and then we start. You might find the same like we had this event today. Nilikuwa naona registration inatembea. That's usually what happens during the public participation, because we might even spend a lot of time tukisema tuna register watu kwanza and then we start. So we might find that people wanna register as we continue with the event.
All right, there's a question here and then I will float it back to Mr. Ojwang, and then unfortunately we are really pressed for time. Okay, you will be the very last one and then we close it off. So let's
be specific, please. Let me say this. Maybe your question is not well rephrased, but lakini kwa public participation most of the time is about projects na proposal the county government will do. For instance, kama sasa kwa sababu maji inanyesha, we have a department ambayo ni ya disaster na kusaidia watu. Usually what we do kukiwa na some of kind of disaster, the department together na fire engine wanaenda wanasaidia the affected families. We also give them some support in terms of material support, maybe iron sheet, maybe to construct their houses. Na wale maybe kama ni flood too, maybe we give them some beddings, mattresses and food stuff, something like that. Yeah. No, they do. Trust me, they do.
Which area?
Wacha nikujulishe. You see, we also work with information. Kama information ijafikia the county government through the ward administrator and also through the sub-county admin, there's no way the county government will know that someone has been affected mahali unless it's been reported to the offices, and then there's it's unfortunate kama wajakuja.
Does it have to be in writing?
Yeah, most of the time. Like you can write to the chief officer or disaster and risk management. Like you explain the issue you have, then ataangalia, and then they call the affected party, then watakuja. But remember, chief officer wa disaster. Chief officer wa disaster anaitwa nani? Sasa, yeah, andikia chief officer. Write to the chief officer wa disaster and risk management.
Also.
I think there's a problem. Okay, you ask the question and then we come back to the panel.
Mbona hakuna process ya kuapply? Mna wale watu waliwasaidia campaign ndio mnawapea kazi za kupakia, wale watu waliwasaidia ndio mnawapea kazi za hizi kanjo. Mtu hawezi apply, na tena mtu wa 25 years kwenda chini hawezi andikwa kazi kama hizo. Why?
Let me say this. Concerning kazi vile umesema, we usually advertise hata kwa gazeti ukiangalia. Kukiwa na any vacancy, the county government does advertisation and also in our website. But you see, it's also very competitive. There's no way the kind of work that you have applied and maybe you don't have the papers and qualification upate. But it's true for casual workers, because we also have casual workers ambao wahitaji a lot of documentation na papers kama hiyo vile unasema wakufagia. The county government usually engage the casuals in a basis of contract. You can get that umepata kazi kwa county for 1 year, which can be renewed or cannot be renewed. And that means that the county government also wants to make sure that huyo neighbor yako pia amepata kazi. As you have get for that 1 year, the other person can also apply and also get the same kind of work. Not really. For instance, I know of a person who applied without any big father, any connection na akapata. So it's unfortunate kama pia lazima MCA na kusaidia, but you know, for political reasons, na ni Kenya yote, si hata Nakuru County, you know that this hata president kuna vile niliona the other day the president is giving a TSC naitwa nini these papers anapea MPs, so hapo it means that MP ndio watachagua nani atapea hiyo barua. So it's possible kuna wale ambao wanapata bila kupitia those connections like you're saying.
Mr. Ojong, want to respond?
Yeah.
Kindly do it briefly because
Yes.
we need to wrap it up.
Yes. One, I'll start na chenye amesema nataka kuweko ni true. Hapa kwa hii kaunti ya Nakuru, wewe kama huko kwa timu ya mtu fulani ukikampaign ama wewe mtu fulani huwezi pata job. Hiyo tusidanganyane. Hiyo ni ukweli. Huwezi na tu tuna apply competitive tupate. Number 2, ni vijana wangapi wamepata tenders hapa? Hakuna. Tunajua tuko na YAGPO, youth access to government procurement opportunities. Even hata yeye ndio chief anatoka from that pere. Do you have the data? Can you give us the data of the how many youth companies wenye wamekuwa awarded na tenders? Wenye wanapewagwa unakutaga ni vibarakas. Anakuwa ni kama proxy. Unakuta ni director mwenyewe amechukua hiyo kazi yako na kampuni, anaweka kijana kuwa proxy wake. Yeye anaenda kusotu lakini kazi ni yeye mwenyewe amechukua. Ama kuna wale tunaitaka friends of the corridors of power. Wale wanashindaka kwa hizi maofisi ndio wanapata hizi job. Kwa public participation nikimalizia kitu, one, vile John Michael amesema projects hubadilishwa especially during supplementary. When they are doing the supplementary, hapo linabadilishwa. Tunajiuliza why is it that the actual budget is subjected to public participation, but when it comes to supplementary budget it's not subjected to public participation. Hapo ndo kwenye unasikia kama mliweka pesa fulani, hiyo pesa itatolewa inaenda kufanya shughuli fulani ambayo inaonekana ni muhimu sana kwake, ingine inatolewa. So tungeomba pia supplementary budget ikuwe subjected to public participation. Like in Nakuru County tunajua tu kwa hii wiki hapa katikati this month kabla ishi kuna supplementary budget is going to happen. Tunangojea juu tusipowekwa hapo ndo kwenye some of us pia tunaanza kuwa na interested kwamba ya kwenda kuweka petition. Lastly nikimalizia nataka kupena good example na kuchallenge by youth wenye kwa room. Mimi natoka Kaptembwa, Ronda ndio mtaa. Hapo ndo kwenye tumelewa siku zote. Sisi pale kwetu kama vijana, sisi hijack public participation. Kwa sababu tulijua wazee wamezoea kutupima. Au wakifika hapo, kuna wale wazee ni mabroka wa shamba au ni pesa za shamba wanaekaga, wanauza bei kali, wanafaidika hiyo shamba, sisi hakuna kitu natusaidia. So, sisi ulifanyaga, sisi kama vijana tunaingia kwanza kwa public participation, tunakoroga. Make sure umefuruga wazee kabisa, furuga kuna kitu wanasema. Wakishanyamaza tuna take over. Na tukitoka over sisi tunaenda na agenda moja. Agenda yetu moja inakuwa ni youth empowerment, and you can attest to that. Sasa hizo ukienda kwa department hakuna ward iliwapatia pesa mingi kuliko Kaptembwa. Tuliwapatia 12 million ya youth empowerment, youth and women empowerment. Kwa nini? Tumekuwa tukiweka pesa za barabara, tunajenga barabara zinaharibika, zinajengwa mbaya, tunaweka pesa kwa mitaro, zinaundwa mitaro mbaya, haitusaidii. So tukasema ndio hii kitu iweze kudeal na sisi direct, tunaweka pesa empowerment. Hiyo pesa empowerment ndio unasikia kibrag nayo hapa hivi kama department ati tunafanya empowerment program. From the HQ hakuna program wanafanya. Wanategemea zile pesa zetu tusipoenda pale kwa wao tuweke hiyo pesa, hakuna kitu wanafanya. So chenye na happen si tuliweka hiyo pesa. Tukia hiyo pesa tuna encourage vijana muingie kwa groups. Uwezi saidika ukiwa peke yako. Lazima mkoe kwa kikundi. Kwa hiyo kikundi, make your proposal. Ni nini mnataka? Submit kwa department mpatiwe. But challenge nyingine pia tunapata kwa department, vitu zenye wao wanatusupply nayo ni substandard. Mimi hata ningeomba Njosha akwe hapa, mimi ningemwambia, siwezi nikamuogopa. Njosha angekuwa hapa ningemwambia, zinakuwa ni vitu substandard. Mnatopeana mmeweka kwitu pesa ya juu, ikifika pale wanaleta vitu substandard. Hizo pesa zingine tujui zinapoteleaga wapi, wao na supplier. Kuna wakati mpaka sports equipment ndio unasema, kuna watu wako na kesi kwa EACC. Tuliona mpaka Pastor Alex ambaye alikuwa CEO aliresign
Josephine ndio huyo alikuwa ni waziri, alienda kwa sababu ya nini? Mlituletea vitu vya substandard, mpira substandard, na pesa tumewapatia ya kutosha. One thing nitaeko county, I'm happy now we have a sports policy inakuja. Hii 500,000 nimesikia kwa kila ward. Hii 500,000 inaga accountability. Mnaekeoga 500,000 ikikuja kwa budgeting. Mimi niko kwa sports, mimi am a coach, I have a team. Ikikuja pale mnaambiwa pigeni budget ya 250k. Hii 250k inaendaga wapi? Then unaenda kufanya procurement ni department wenyewe na hakuna accountability. Vitu zenyewe mnaletwa vitu substandard na zinakuja vitu less. Tutajuaje hiyo pesa imetumika yote? So I think policy ikikuja itaguide ni pesa ngapi itakuwa pale hona. But vijana chenye mimi nitawaambia, mkienda kwa your wards mkisikia kuna public participation, si tunafanyaga pre-budget, tunaitana kwanza kama vijana tuseme tunataka nini, tunataka empowerment, pesa ngapi. Kama kwetu Kaptembwa tunapataga 41.1 million. Kwa hiyo 41.1 million si tuliwaambia tu categorically tunataka 15 million. Wenyewe wakalia tuwezi wapatia 15 million mkienda yote naje. Tukaambia kwa hivi kama mtupatie 15 tupatieni 12. Na kwa hiyo 12 tulisha submit. Si ni ukweli kwa huko hivyo. Hata ukienda kwa Dr. Kimeka tunangojea, tuliambiwa this March hizo equipment zinatoka. Tunazingojea tuzione, na zikikuwa substandard hatutakubali kwa sababu ni mchezo ambaye county wamezoea kufanya na watu, na hizi pesa ni pesa zetu. Sisi ndio tunalipa ushuru. Ukweli uongo? Ni sisi tunalipa ushuru. So chenye mimi nitaaje tu vijana, public participation ukisikia iko mtokee wengi na muongee kwa sauti ngapi? Sauti moja. Mkiongea kwa sauti tofauti hamtasaidika. Then msikubali kina Morris ni wazee wetu, wametulewa, wametumenta. But wakiwa pale sisi ndio viongozi wa kesho. Morris akitoka na suppose kuingia hapo, take over. Na mkienda pale nyinyi pia pelekeni agenda zenyu, bring a memorandum, mseme kama vijana mnataka mfanywe nini kwa hiyo mgao ya wodi yenu. Thank you.
Okay, nikiongezea kidogo.
Tukatafika.
Nikiongezea hapo kidogo, there's a time nilienda interview. And then wakati niliingia interview hapa Nakuru County, the first question niliulizwa, umeletwa na nani? MCM gani ama MP gani amekoleta? Na struggle because mimi niliapply tu kazi nikaita interview. So hata hiyo kazi sikupata. So lazima muangalie haya. Then secondly, somebody talked about the disaster. There's a procedure. Wezi chukua barua na PSCO to direct. You must go to the ward administrator ama village anaitwaje kodi mjitume. Lazima uende hapo and then uende uandike barua iende kwa ward administrator apige site, apige picha, tena urudi atoke hapo iende. Inakuwa na procedure. You can't just go direct to the office of the CEO. Alafu na at times unaandika barua haitafika huko. Then another thing about public participation, kama vijana, you have to participate strongly kwa sababu unapata kuna wale wanajulikana wakileta memorandum zao zenye zinatupwa kando, yao inachukuliwa. So you have to be strong, lazima mkuwe na sauti moja vile Mike amesema.
I want us to close up and clearly mambo ni mengi matango machache. And I don't know, maybe in your parting shot you will tell the youth of Nakuru what you are doing from your office to ensure that meaningful participation, public participation, and that is something that you will continue to explore. But let's start with Mr. Edwin coming this way. Your parting shot from the deliberations that we've been able to deliberate on this afternoon. What would your parting shot be as we close off our discussion? And also your call to action, maybe to the youth or to the county representative or anybody else.
Responsibility is the key. Kila mmoja anafaa kuwajibika, na tunapowajibika kila mmoja wetu, the county government plus we the people. Mimi ni mwaniaji tu, bado niko katika, mimi bado niko pande hii, nasema we the people. Lakini the county government should take responsibility kufanyia wananchi kazi ambayo inatakikana. Na sisi kama wananchi, we only have 5 years contract na kwa tumepatia viongozi. At least you can make a change to the better wakati wenye muda imefika wa kufanya mabadiliko. Lakini pia hauwezi fanya hayo mabadiliko kama wewe si mpiga kura. Tuchukueni kura sisi wote. Vijana tujielewe. Kuna wakati utatamani hiyo umri uko nayo na itakuwa imekupita. Napenda vile kocha anaongea hapa. Kocha anaongea vizuri sana na maelezo ambayo yana hekima mingi sana. Tukiweza kujitambua tutasonga mbele. Tukiweza kujitambua tutajua nini tunataka. Na sisi tukisema tukue pamoja vizuri, hakuna kitu hatuwezi achieve. Kwa hivyo mimi nahimiza tu tuwe kwa pamoja, tujue malengo yetu na tujue cha kufanya. Itatusaidia sana. Wakati tunaenda kuchaguana 2027, make the right decision. Usiangalie political party, usiangalie mtu, chagua kiongozi kwa sababu ana maadili mema ya kijamii ya kuongoza na pia ya kufanya vitu ambavyo vinatakikana katika maisha yetu yote kama jamii. Asante.
Nitakuwa brief. Yangu mimi nitasema ni youth for youth. Tusikue sisi ni maadui, ni kijana kwa kijana, tusaidiane. Alafu tukue na youth agenda. Kama vijana lazima tukue na youth agenda. Kila mahali unaenda, enda na agenda ya kijana mwenzako. Sawa sawa, be your brother's keeper. Kule kwetu tunakuwa na slogan tunasemaga, bonga na bro, jenga mtaa. Bonga na sis, inua jamii. Tukiongeleshana, tutajengana. Si ni kweli? There is nothing for us without us. Hii hatuwezi kubali.
As I wind up, first I want to thank Pawa 254 for organizing this debate and this conversation. It's important to know that the county government is doing a lot. The county government, through Her Excellency the Governor, she's really working hard to make sure that the youth of this county are well represented in terms of even, like I've just mentioned, empowerment through the youth empowerment and sports equipment. At the same time, the youth wenye wamemaliza shule, maybe umefanya form 4 and you like to join a vocational training, the county government is offering a capitation of 30,000 per youth. Kwa hivyo any youth ambaye anaweza taka kufanya any kind of training, easy courses, be it these courses as which are offered to the vocationals. So you can apply in any vocational training and you go around, and be assured that the county government will cater for your capitation, your school fees ambayo ni 30,000. It's also good to mention that the county government also has a recording studio here in Nakuru, pale Bondeni kwa ofisi na Naivasha. So wale wasanii ambao maybe you want to do one or two, nisikia kuna wasanii hapa kidogo, you can also visit the studio pale, and it's free. You won't be charged anything. You can record your music, you can record your poetry, whatever thing you want to do pale. At the same time, the county government also has a partnership with Daraja 360. We have a textile hub pale Bondeni. Wale ambao they think they can ama they want to pursue courses za kushona na kutengeneza manguo ama bags or anything, you can visit pale Bondeni. You just register and then you'll be part of us. Na you'll get the skills za kutengeneza nguo, and even you can become a fashion designer. That's a partnership that the county government is doing with Daraja 360. At the same time, we're also offering digital literacy pale chini Bondeni. We have a digital hub. If you want to learn anything to do with the computer skills, literacy, Excel na hizo zote za Word, you can avail yourself pale, and it's also free. So the county government is doing a lot to make sure that the youth of this county are engaged and they are also proactive. I think nitaachia hapo and wish you all the best and you support the government. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much, youth, for attending this. Thanks so much, Pawa 254. My parting shot, youth, just stand up and don't be manipulated with these leaders. You know you are right, and you have to work hard. And secondly, always try to attend this public participation. You'll learn more. And again, try to attend this budget streaming. You participate in budget process. Usikae tu chini ufanyiwe, amka tu kama youth ufanye budget processing, ndio utajua vitu zenye mnatakikana mfanyiwe kwa grassroots. Thank you.
Maybe.
Thank you.
One more question. I forgot, ninataka kuongezea kwamba niseme the Department of Youth usually collaborate with a lot of wait, nini, I was trying to look for that one. Our agencies ambao wanataka kusaidia for youth. For instance, right now we have agency inaitwa Light for the World, ambayo they want to do something to do with e-materials, collection of e-materials. E-materials ni zile vitu zinapatikana kwa simu, kwa radio. So there is a registration which is going on, and nitaangalia in my email sahi niwaambie where you can apply. So you can they will do a training for, they want to engage 250 youth. So kwa hivyo mnaweza apply pale. They'll do a training for I think 1 month, and then you'll be engaged for 6 months na you'll be paid, watakuwa na walipa. That is just a collaboration between the county government and that Light for the World. So in a few nitaangalia, and then I can tell you where to check. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Kindly let's kwapa and appreciate all our panelists for their insights, and I want to say a very special thank you to you guys for being such a lovely audience as well. Makwapa kwenyu pia. Yes, and keep asking those hard questions. I think it's important that you keep questioning where the government falls short, because they are supposed to be the ones serving you directly. But for this and such conversations, please go and check us out on Pawa Radio on social media, our YouTube channel, subscribe as well, because we have such conversations. We are trying to mainstream as much as possible youth voices, because yes, you've heard even from today's discussion is that youth voices are very underrepresented, and so Pawa Radio is your hub where you get to have such conversations. I have been your host, Anne Wanyweke, and until next time, goodbye for now. Thank you. Makwapa. I would like to invite my photographer to take a photo. Kindly come, we take a photo, a group photo, before I release our panelists. Let's take a group photo. Should we sit or stand? Should we stand? We want to take a group photo with the panelists. Should we stand or sit? We stand while sitting. We stand. Okay, let's stand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anne, and thank you so much, good people. Was it real? Imekuwaje? Imekuwa viti? Kabisa? Information imeingia kabisa? So as a way forward, let me get some, maybe 2 or 3 things. Yeah, ile kitu ambayo umeweza kuelewa.
Sound check.
1 2 1 2 1.
Yes. Okay. Aha. Stories za time. To maintain time hata wakati ambapo tumeitwa. Si ni majenzi amesema tuko na shida ya timing. So it is important for us to maintain time.
Nina jambo, kazi ni mzuri. Mambo ni mazuri, si ndio? Tumeuliza serikali maswali, si ndio? Tumeuliza IBC maswali. Sasa wewe pia jiulize maswali. Sawa? Hii inchi ni yako. Okay? Sheria ya inchi hii ya mambo ya public participation, ujue ya kwamba siku hizi nasikia saa hizi MCA hajatufanyia, mbunge hajatufanyia. Saa hizi hiyo pesa ambayo huwa inakuja katika kila ward, mamlaka iko juu yako. Umesikia wamesema mambo ya validation. Unaweza kuja public participation, mupendekeze mamiradi mingi. Ikifika siku ya validation au unakosekana. Siku ya validation sasa ndio kitofu cha public participation. Kwa sababu wakati huo ndio bajeti yetu ya board inakuja. Inaweza sema ward yangu kama ward yangu ni 27 million. 2025 2026 ilikuwa 27 million. Hiyo 27 million sasa ndio nataka kugawa. Mike amaambia youth walikuja wakasema wanataka 12 kwa yao. Sasa hizo ndio mkikuja kwa wingi at least mutasikika. Musikose kwenda public participation at mmetuachia. Mimi katika ward yangu naweza sema public participation na voice 032 plus resident association tumebenefit a lot kama community, not kama mimi binafsi. Ukiangalia hospitali iko tofauti. Ukiangalia Bondeni maternity iko tofauti through public participation na memorandums. Ukiangalia mashule zetu utakuta ya kwamba kuna classrooms ambazo zimejengwa. MCA hawezi jenga kama sisi hatujasema. Sawa vijana? Mujitokeze. Wakati unalaumu mwingine ukifanya kijana wewe. Vidole ngapi unania point? 3, si ndio? Moja ndio ya. Sasa hata hizi inaniambia hata mimi nijiulize swali. Sawa? Ukiwa mzembe, ukiwa utaki kwenda, ukiwa usha decide ni wazende wanaenda, tafadhali wewe enda, inchi ni yako, budget ni yako, pesa ni yako, ongea usikike. The way forward.
Asante sana Morris. Those are words of wisdom. Any other thing? Any last thing?
Kuna kitu nataka ku address my fellow youth. I know most of you are not millennials like the man said. Najua us millennials ni most of us tuko 34 heading tunaelekea kwenye kijana wa jana alisema. I know we are responsible more than most of you here. Like I said, me, I'm a transfer here, and actually I'm voting for it in Nakuru East. That's why nilikuja kwa hii forum, cause my responsibility is not just from where I am from, Machakos. It's the whole country as a whole, and also I'll be in Nakuru. Nakuru, my budget will be affected by how it's been run. It's going to be affected by how the county is going to deliver the services. Maji yangu ikikatwa, nafaa kuenda job saa 10, nitakuwa late vile the guy said. When we were addressing the county, nime realize most of you now, the Gen Z na the other young ones, I know, we are not really informed. Na niju, we are lazy. Hata mwenyewe nitajeka kwa hiyo. I'll go online, I'll be on TikTok, but I'll never look at the websites where all things that have been said. Actually, coaches amenishtua, he has facts of how much funds he's supposed to be asking for, and he knows what he has asked for. Lakini wewe umekuja hapa umesema sijui IBC wanasukumangwa nje, sijui county government haisaidii watu wenye wako floods. But have you ever looked at the channels that you're supposed to go for so that you get your car wash machine? ushaika hivi mkiwa 12 ama 15 guys, mkasema mbona tusikuwe na uniform yetu, tukuwe na overalls na twende pale to register, tuko na national IDs, tuamue basi tukuwe na kaoshi yetu, tuitishe machine, tuitishe tanki ya 3000 liters, tuitishe vacuum machine na get. Alafu mkwetu na idea ya Kenya mnauliza. See it now we stand and say, nyia mtupeangi do, but you've not even gone, you've never even written a letter. Hata even a handwritten letter, just to go and say, nilijaribu nilifika hapo kwa county, pale kwa gate. At least hata afadhali useme so nikataza. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anajaribu kusema msipojipanga mtafanya nini? Mtapangwa Wewe endelea tu kukaa hapo kukuja session ati unagojea next yenye Power 254 wataitisha ama any other organization, but you're not taking any action. Remember, there are so many things ambazo zimeongelewa hapa. If you leave them here, that is your problem. Si ndio? Ujue hizo vitu mingi ambazo zimesemwa hapo ni vitu ambazo zinaweza kusaidia sana, and he has mentioned it properly. Remember, the duty bearers si maadui wetu. We have been doing this dialogue between the citizens and the duty bearers for a long period of time, ili tujaribu kuleta uhusiano ukue mzuri, so that you are able to ask questions and ask questions in a way that ikona evidence. Any other last thing before now we wind up? Any other burning thing? Yes. Alafu umekumbuka yako? Anasema amekumbuka yako.
Yeah, so mimi parting shot yangu ni, as much as we are doing what you are doing, please kumbukeni kuna PWD community. They are our sisters, our brothers, our parents, our friends, our guardians, our bosses, and also our employees. So please be mindful. Sisi wote, life inakata cross sisi wote. So mahali popote mnago, mnaenda, mna think of, please always remember persons with disability. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us about the aspect of inclusion. That is very, very, very key. Continue championing the rights of PWDs. Thank you so much. Huyo alikuwa amesahau, acha tusikie.
Boys amesema aje ati tujiongee kwa hizi forums. Nataka kukwambia aje, kuna sometimes si forums zote zinawaki hivi. Kuna zingine zinakuja ni siasa tupu tu, mnasikia tu ni siasa tupu, mpatu hiyo time ya kuongea. Umesikia? Underline hiyo. So na kuna zingine mzee amesema ati ni wazee, ni kweli ni wazee tupu walai, si uongo.
Na hiyo pia amekuchallenge, anakwambia forum mingi zinaitwa na wanasiasa. Ndio nawaambia msipojipanga kama vijana, ujue hao wasee wako huko bado wanaendelea kufanya nini? Wanaendelea kuwapanga mikakati zao, wanapanga wakiwafikiria, whether wanawafikiria negative or positive, that is none of your business, si ndio? So the issue is venye Mike anasema tujipange, tujiorganize, tuingie kwa hizi maofisi whether they love it or not, kwa sababu hizo maofisi si ni maofisi zetu. Lakini tukiendelea tu kwenda kwa forums, tunasikiza, tukishasikiza tunaenda mtaa, alafu kila wakati tukikuja kwa forum ni kucomplain, but you are not giving a solution. Sawa sawa? Very important. Ukienda kwa forum, fikiria, as you talk about a certain problem, what is the solution which you are offering, especially focusing on development of your word. Sawa sawa. So thank you so much, good people. Asanteni sana. Na nimeona session imekuwa mzuri. I think tutahakikisha ya kwamba in many circumstances tutaleta radio mtaani. Tumekuwa radio live, na kwa sasa hivi ningetaka kumuita Mr. Kilikibet aweze kutupatia vote of thank, alafu pia atueleze tutafanya nini kutoka hapa, na nafikiria Godi tunapigia picha huko down, sio? Very well, very well. Mr. Kilikibet. Thank you guys. Was it real? Asanteni sana. Karibu sana Mr. Kili Kibet. Tupatie Kili Kibet makwapa. Makwapa akikuja, makwapa. Makwapa. Kidole. Kidole. Makofi. Alafu shingo. Thank you so much guys.
Utavunja watu shingo. Asanteni sana. I think this has been very inspirational, very educative sessions, ndio? Nani hajabambika na sessions kama hizi? Ni haki yako pia kusema, si ndio? Tuna promote rights, so uko na haki ya kusema chochote. Sawa sawa, hujabambika? Governor akwe on air, mtusaidie kumwambia tukimtafuta apatikane pia. Unajua ako very busy pia kujenga, lakini kuna zile madakika kidogo tunataka tuwasiliane pamoja. Mr. Mwange hapa atatusaidia kufikisha ujumbe imfikie, si ndio? So I think I'm so grateful. We are very grateful for this particular opportunity. We don't take it for granted that we can have such conversations with people, very candid conversations that tujenga as youth or as residents of this particular county. So asante sana Mr. Morris for mobilization. Asante sana our guests. I didn't get your name. MCA Edwin Mwangi, the IBC, everyone that managed to get here today. Watu wa Voice 32, asanteni sana. We don't take it for granted as well. And everyone else, Power team, asanteni pia, na watu wa library here. So for us we say chukua kura. Kama hujachukua kura tafadhali, hao watu wa IBC wako hapa mpaka 4:30 p.m. And we agreed that if we want to make change ama make our voice heard, lazima tuwajibike na tuchukue nini? Kura. Ndio tuende to vote the people that we desire, the people we want. Sawa sawa. So other than that, very grateful. Mr. Morris atawapanga mambo mengine, lakini tuliambiwa hapa juu snacks na nini haiwezi kubaliwa because it's a library. Tutachukua hapa chini. Sawa sawa. So usitoke kabla hujapata kitu kwa mkono, all right? Because it's library, lazima pia tukue considerate of the same. So thank you very much. God bless you. Mubarikiwe mpaka mshangae. Sawa sawa. Our group photo tutachukua, cha luve atupange.
Luve mwenyewe. Mnakumbuka jina yangu? Hiyo ndio jina yangu. So kitu tutafanya, tutapiga group photo. Tutakuja hapa mbele. Wako wapi moderators wetu?
Kuna hizi vitabu pia.
Moderators mtaketi.
Ziko hapa nyuma. Kuna hizi vitabu, please ensure that you pick 1 or 2 copies. Sawa sawa. Very educative, very informative. Yes. Aya. Thank you.
Mtasimama tu, zile viti ziko katikati, wale wako kwa hizo viti mtasonga nazo. Warefu wakuwe nyuma, wafupi wakuwe mbele. Ni sawa? Kwa sababu tuko wengi. But for the moderators, na I think watu wengine wa Power wataketi hapo. Msiende kwanza, mkuje huku. Msiende lu. Tupige ndio tuende lu. For a group photo.
Pas taratibu ya kuteremka huko chini tafadhali msikie. Wakati tunapoenda kuteremka, tutateremka hapo chini. Tukifika hapo chini, floor ya chini, tunapita ramp. Tusipite stairs tafadhali. Tupite wa ramp hadi floor ya ground. Sawa sawa? Na tuafoi kelele juu wenzetu wanasoma hapo chini. Please.
Hata sijafika huko mimi. Au nini? Hata mimi kukutana mjoto kwa
hiyo haiko sawa sasa.
Mike mkwai.
Haya. Usikie tu hapo. Position. Wale warefu wanaweza kusoma nyuma. Siko sawa? Ndio mheshimiwa. Umeishika yote? Watu wainge.
Hapa kuna nafasi bado bro.
Nyuma.
Haya. Mimi
ni mrefu. Unajua wewe ni mrefu. Kuja tukae na wewe hapa nyuma.
Najulia kwa sinema, baby achana na usiwasikize hao baby achana na usiwasikize hao
full of haters, full of players. Wakutupiga sana, all they wanna break us. Usiwasikize hao, oh baby achana nao. Cause when we say ni forever, ni vow tunaweka. Mimi na wewe tu, let us go down in history. Niamini na kupenda, ni wewe tu. Wakusema watasema, usiku watalala, hawataweza kukupenda vile ninavyokupenda. Amini hata dunia itashindwa na cha kusema, na wakisema ni mapema kupenda tunavyopendana. Tutaishi kama Romeo na Julia kwa sinema. Baby achana na usiwasikize hao, baby achana nao, usiwasikize hao,
baby achana nao. City boy wanna break your heart, city girl they just wanna have fun. Love you then leave you, wakuache na maswali bila jibu. City boy wanna break your heart, city girl they just wanna have fun. Love you then leave you, wakuache na maswali bila jibu. City boy wanna break your heart, city girl they just wanna have fun. Love you then leave you, wakuache na maswali bila jibu. City boy wanna break your heart, city girl they just wanna have fun. Love you then leave you, wakuache na maswali bila jibu.
Penzi letu limeshika, watazidi na kuteta. Pelesi tunapendana na hatutawaachana. Katika shida watacheka sana, baraka zetu watakemea. Watazidi tungojea, watangojea. Nyakacheng sanika wono, nyakacheng nyaka wa yunyithindo, nyaka wati hera wa medore, hera wa medore. Tusema losa losa we losa, tusema losa losa, tusema losa losa we losa, tusema losa losa. Atotieri berhera emanya saegwedo chen marach bende chen maber biro kabiro weyo heri yawa onge ngama berhera emanya saegwedo chen marach bende chen maber biro kabiro weyo heri kaka kaola nyangelo ana kinkinda mondo waheri mondo I only called today, but I think about you every day. Najua nilichoma, yeah. I take the blame. Juu tangu iyo day, I've never been the same. Find me at the end of late kila weekendi. Nimekosana na wengi, lakini sisi I'm regretting. I know you know me well, usikate juu niko mlevi. Please don't hang up on me, niache niseme ukweli. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo pande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I'm not stalking you, niliona umepost pictures are coast, your new man doing the most. You seem happy, you seem so happy. Called to let you know I'm taken but available for you. Bestie, bestie, we nirudishie phone, cause you don't understand what the hell is going on. Kilimani reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. Oh, I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo pande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo pande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. Reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. Oh, reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. Needs to know what's in my heart. Nobody else can match my energy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Radio Mtaani County 032. Yes, Nakuru County edition. We are coming to you live. Now, Radio Mtaani is basically our way of bringing radio to the people and bringing the people to the radio. We need these conversations to definitely cut across all our different audiences as well, and so Radio Mtaani, you might be on the lookout for your various towns across this nation. We will be there if you call us. Make sure you call us. We will definitely come through to you. And on to our conversation, which, by the way, tell you the reason as to why we are in Nakuru is that we have been having the Retai project. Retai is full for rights, inclusion, and transparency for accountable institutions, which is a project that has been implemented by Pawa 254. And today we are in Nakuru, which is one of the towns or the cities or counties that the project has been able to be implemented, which is alongside Ngong, in Kajiado County, as well as Nairobi County. And in our one who's looking for the next person that we need to talk to, I have come across a brilliant young man from Nakuru County, or rather he did say that he's not necessarily originally from Nakuru, but he's now here, a resident, and I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, and then we will have a very amazing conversation about some of the discussions that we were having earlier on our panel discussion today, which is finding ways and pathways to mainstreaming youth inclusion in democratic processes as well as governance. It's really, really good to have you on Power Radio this afternoon. Please introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about what you do, and then we will get right into our conversation.
Thank you, Anne. And hello to everybody who's on the show right now. My name is Joe Muli, and as you've been informed, I'm new in Nakuru, but now I'm a resident. That's because of work. I am a mixologist and a barista by profession. And I attended the Retai project today, where we have had very good conversations about the youth, about inclusion, about the rights that we need to be informed about. And we also had the IIBC on the panel earlier, and they really engaged us to know on the processes and the criteria to be followed when you're a new voter, and what to do and what not to do when it comes to you voting and what we need to know when as a voter. Yes.
Let's just start right there. Are you a registered voter, Mr.
Yes.
Joe?
Yes, I'm a registered voter.
Newly, or you have been voting before?
I've been registered before. That's why, as I said, when I moved to Nakuru and realized I'll be here for some years, I did a transfer of my vote, because one thing that I know as a millennial, being 34 years, is that voting does not necessarily mean where you're from, because my vote will affect where I'm living. That includes from the MCA for the area where I'm living. It goes to the MP of the area because of the infrastructure and the rights. Like even sometimes, like when you're going home, in some parts you find there is restrictions, like from the police. So maybe my MP can help me to reduce those rights, and even my governor. So like if I'm going to be in Nakuru for a while, sorry. If I'm going to be in Nakuru for a while, I was thinking it's good if I vote from the area where I'll be for a while.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Kenya is a whole. 254 is a whole country. So my vote does not only feature where I'm from in Machakos, but it will affect even the person in Nakuru, and it will affect the whole country as a whole.
Yeah, no, you do bring up a very important part of conversation, which a lot of young people, especially who are, for lack of a better word, voter you call them vote transfers?
Yeah, it's transfers.
Yeah, they would. A lot of young people wouldn't necessarily even transfer their polling station to the place that they are currently living in. So how did you decide that you still want to get involved and participate actively and ensure that you are exercising your civic duty of becoming a voter, even while you have moved from the county that you are originally from? And how can you unaweza himiza vijana aje, especially those ones that are finding themselves, moving from various parts of the country, for maybe better economic reasons or social opportunities or political reasons as well? What would your word be?
Well, what made me change is over the years what I've realized is I see people who vote from overseas, and these people never come home. The government never affects them, but it does affect their relatives who are back at home. And also, when you think about it, like the sanctions that happen worldwide, sometimes when you vote for the right people, they can help lower those sanctions. So even when you're overseas and you vote, somehow that vote is affecting you in a positive way or a negative way. So when I realized my career makes me move around a lot, like you're in one hotel for a while, then I realized now I have to move from here and then transfer. I have to travel all the way, and the economy is not that good. So all this moving around just because you're going to vote for one day, so it's not really economically correct for me as a person. Then I realized it does not matter who you're voting for as long as it's your country. Because if the youth came to know, it's not about MCA. It's about the people who call the shots up there. It's about the whole parliament. How many correct MPs do you have so that they can stand for the rights that you really want as a youth? How many correct MCAs do you need so that when they sit in the county assembly, they can talk and then mpate zile rights ziko mashinani? If it's about people who said, like earlier another gentleman says there's the problem of people are drowning, houses have been submerged in water. Now, if you don't have the correct MCA, it will not take your MCA, who's just one, to change the mindset of the county assembly for you guys to get the funding you need so that you change your area to get better infrastructure. There's the football clubs, like you've heard the fellow youths talk about. If you don't have the right MCAs to push the governor, then these football clubs will get the wrong kits. They'll get substandard materials, not enough uniforms. And there's the Linda Mwananchi, the old people, and then there's the PWDs. Is that correct? If you don't have the right person, does not matter whether you're voting from Mombasa. wherever you're living, if it does not go correct, then the whole county will suffer and you will be working in a wrong environment. So I might be from Machakos, I'm sure my family will represent me. But when I'm here, Nakuru is affecting me personally. My water bills, how quick can they respond to a fire in my house? You see, things like those. If you don't think about personality, personal stuff like when you're voting. Think about yourself and about the area you are from.
Yeah.
Yes. Delivery of services, your safety, your health, all those matter everywhere, not just in the area where you were born.
Right. So, Ritai, as I rightfully put, the T part
Yes.
is transparency, and
Yes.
the A part is accountability. You've talked about service delivery, but there's a young person somewhere who perhaps they want to definitely hold their leaders accountable. They want to be able to sit down and have a conversation with their leaders in terms of taking stock of how their public monies are spent. Are their projects, accessible? Are there the ways that they deal, the approaches that they deal with service delivery? Is there transparency in the processes? But they might not know how do they go about holding the leaders or the systems that have been put in place accountable. So how do young people go about this issue of accountability? Because they do have the power. I just do not know whether they know the power that they wield.
Now that comes back to us as the youth and comes to us as, that is something almost personal. And that goes to the word information. The youth nowadays, the world has become like a small village. Like we have a lot of information technology going around at the palm of your hands. The phones are no longer just for calling. Phones have become small computers. But us as the youth, mostly I'll not say the millennials, because I will stand with the millennials. Earlier on, we were the young people, but then the way we were bred, I think we've come to become the young grown-ups of tomorrow. But the people who are following us have this mentality of group thinking. And then they will come, they have problems that then they will think like riots are the answer to everything. But then they lack information. Somebody can stay on TikTok and Facebook like even 24 hours a day. But then they will not even try to just go to Google. Go Google or use Yahoo, so many search engines around. Just type the word IEBC. Look at the information about what IEBC is about. Look at your county. Try to get the small books like they have printouts. Walk to the county offices. Ask for how can I apply for a group fund. Like we have a group we were told some people can have a car wash. How do I get that? What are the papers needed? What are the documents needed? Who am I supposed to go to? The chief. The chief is responsible for your ID. If the ID is coming slow, then because even the first time, even when you are applying for your passport, you're sent to the chief. You're sent to people who know you around so that you get your passport. Go to your parents. Tell them, I have this problem. But don't go when you're having fun or you have a group hangout is now when you discuss politics and then you say us as Gen Zs and then there's nothing, it's just blabbering, and then after you leave and then you carry it heavy in your heart, and then there's a lot of politics that goes about, like you'll hear some hearsay about your governor, ako hivi, huyo tunamtoa, akikuja utamtoa nini? First of all, unamtoa kwa nini? Amekufanyia nini? Some people are bitter. A lot of the young people are bitter. Because of why? They want handouts. We blame the government for giving us handouts, but it's us who show that we need handouts. That's why you'll hear like a forum has been, like people are being told, there's kuna kuhamasisha my youth, itakuwa Wednesday. Then they ask, will there be tea? Will there be money? And then the governor, like even our current government, noticed that we love handouts. And that's what's happening. Opposition ka inakuja this town, unasikia wamepeana handouts. Sijui mpange line, everybody gets 300, 400. Kama ni governor akikuja anataka ukaunta huyo mwenye alikuwa, it's also handouts.
But how do we move from that? Because you will understand that just the way things are set up in Kenya, maybe that handout is the only way that a young person can be able to even get a meal or afford a meal for that day. While I understand that that is the reality of many young people, because of why we have high unemployment issues, whether it's underemployment, whether even it's the lack of those employment issues, that is a very real, it's a reality. Qua ground, it's a reality that young people have to deal with. On the other end is the government, right?
Yes.
They have definitely weaponized the lack of empowerment, or like the disenfranchisement that comes with, for example, the lack of financial stability and freedom for the young people. So it's a little bit of a I think a dilemma. So should the young people, how do we, I guess the question is, how do we find ways of making sure that young people are actively involved beyond the handouts and beyond making them coming for maybe public participation forums only on the promise that there's going to be a handout? Because it has to be beyond the handout and about the issues, the real issues that are affecting the young people.
I'll go back to the issue about information. Now you see, like when we had the Gen Z movement and the riots going all over the country, after that, when we were shut down, like when there were so many deaths and people were afraid, our parents went into a cocoon, and instead of standing back and telling us and giving us information and saying, tomorrow, my father tells me, tomorrow I'll not be here. Tomorrow you'll call and want 1,000 and I won't be here. They tell me that to my face. What will you do? I was afraid to come and live in Nakuru, but then they told me, what will you do about tomorrow? So our parents are also responsible to teach us, give us information, tell us, this is your right, let me show you. You never read the Constitution, please try. Hata ukisisitizwa aje, bora mtu anakuambia daily, you'll get out of 100, you cannot lack even 20%. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. It's fine, yeah.
Even out of 100, you cannot lack even 20%. So what I try to tell people, be informed. Go to your county, start with your chief. Know what he's responsible for. Know what the OCS, your rights. When is he supposed to arrest me? How am I supposed? Sometimes you're arrested and then somebody just needs you to get out of that vehicle because you have to chuck like 1,000, 2,000. It starts there and the youth forget about that. If I'm arrested today, can I get out of that cell without having to pay a bail? Sometimes you're arrested because you're drunk. When I pay bail, can I go and fetch that bail? Others forget that when you're arrested for being drunk, you can actually go to court and answer for what you did wrong, and you still get your bail back as money. But then we have learned this thing as since tukua watoto. Polisi akikushika ni pesa na uende. We have learned that MCA akipata, tuko na hiyo feeling and that idea that they should get lost. It's us who allow them to get lost.
Right.
We had an MCA who is an aspirant here. I'll get his number and then I'll vote. But I have to get information about this guy. Is he a good guy? Was he a teacher? Was he working in a bank? How is his family? Is he stable? Even socially, just learn about who are you voting for. Information is really key when it comes to us learning our inclusion into this government and how transparent which information should we get so that we are very sure yenyewe hapa county imekuwa transparent. Hapa niko comfortable. Now I know that yenyewe ni mimi sikuandika ile letter ndio maana sikupata funds fulani. Yenyewe sikufanya hivi ndio maana my old man akupata pension. Yeah. So information is what we need to seek.
Right. As we wrap up our conversation, how do we go about innovating pathways for more meaningful and inclusive meaningful and inclusive governance processes, especially when it comes to the youth question?
I was thinking we've modernized the world. I was thinking art. The word art, you've used it today and it's gotten into my system, activism. If we use art, let's say like we suggested earlier, if the caravan involving people, there's a civic education, why not have dancers? Let there be modern music, let the caravan be, let it go, and then timing. Let it go for like 2 weeks. Because Nakuru is huge. Let the caravan go for 2 weeks and then have a specific place where it's easily accessible. Kani library, tunajua yenyewe library, and it will host like 1,000 people. You be told the number to turn up. Ndio watu wasikuje wengi, mwanza kusema mliitana specifically hii group ikuje. No. And then use art. Kama mtatumia music, let Gengeton play on that caravan. Let invite people, give them, sometimes even the youth don't need all these handouts of cash. Sometimes merchandise works. Give them capes, give them umbrellas, let them feel mko on the ground. But sasa ikikuja unapata nyumba 10, wazee wa nyumba 10, they're the only guys who know about it. They'll tell their children, imeishia tu hapo nyumba 10. And then even when money comes out, it's nyumba 10. I've seen it happen. I've been in Nakuru, it's been a year now. And already, I will not name names, but some people who are campaigning, if not for my landlord being a nyumba 10, singepata kitu. So I'm imagining na mimi ni mpya huku na mimi naitiwa hiyo pesa, hata ni vile sisemangi, na wenye hawajapata and they are born and bred in Nakuru. So cause si kila mtu ako na smartphone, but if we use, and then posters, billboards, because even I see churches having a church is having a crusade in a town, they have billboards. The county government has enough money. An MCA has enough money to have his own or her own billboard to tell people kutakuwa na hizi, alafu print this books, let people read.
Right.
Constitution maker mimi tangu itoke, I think if it's not my parents having copies, I've never had a copy even handed to me, like kijana soma hii ni constitution yako. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I think from our conversation, it's clear that more needs to be done.
Yes.
We need to move from conversations to commitment and actually commit to the things that we are saying that we will do in ensuring that we are opening it up, the discussion for youth inclusion. Thank you so much, Joe Muli, for your insights and for sharing with us on Pawa Radio. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Mr. Joe Muli there. Sharing with me some insights on youth participation, especially in governance and democratic processes. And yes, this is Radio Mtaani, coming to you live and direct from County 032, that is Nakuru County. We will be right back after this short break with our next conversation. So do keep it Pawa Radio.
1, 2.
Mic check.
Mic check.
1, 2.
1, 2.
All right. One time.
One time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special edition of Radio Mtaani, coming to you live and direct from County 032. Yes, indeed, we are in Nakuru County. And why are we here? We are here for the RETI project, that is the Rights and Inclusion and Transparency for Accountability or Accountable Institutions, which is a project that has been powered by Uraya Trust and funded by the Norwegian Embassy, here to basically create pathways for civic and political education, because we believe indeed that a informed citizenry is definitely an empowered citizenry. And now I am joined by my next conversation. Oh wait, did I tell you my name? My name is Anne Wanyoike, in case I did not. And I'm joined by Madam Diana Ochieng. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and we will get right into our conversation. It's good to have you join us on Power Radio. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit something about what you do and who you are.
My name is Diana Ochieng. I'm a millennial.
Hey. Representing?
Millennial. Okay, I stay here in Nakuru. I've been voting in Nakuru for many, many years back. And when RETI came to Nakuru, we got opportunity as a Biashara Ward, and we attended the training for 1 week. And then we were trained about the budget process in national budget and county budget. And then after that, other people were trained about the human rights defenders. And then when we saw that we have a capacity of doing something, we went back to the community and sit down with the people who attended the training. We said we cannot sit with this powerful thing. Let's go back to the community and teach the community about the budget process, because many people are not aware. There's no awareness. So we went back to the community. We went and held a meeting as a group, and we said, no, let's do this. Let's register this organization as a CBO, community-based organization, so that we can have valid certificate. When you go to an office, they can hear us. And the organization in question is Voice 032. Voice 032.
A little bit about what Voice 032 is, how did it come about, and what have you been able to achieve so far since its inception? When was it formed?
In
2024.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Voice 032 was formed in 2024 after the training of budget process. And when we went back to the community, we say, no, let's go and teach people about the budget, the projects of the county government. And many people don't know what is happening. So we went back to the community. We called the community. And we talked to them. We taught them how they can be assisted, or how they can get the projects which are happening in the county government. So we decided to hold a community forum. We went and held a community forum. We educated them, civic education. We educated about the projects. So when we were waiting for the public participation to happen, even during public participation, we always go and talk to them to attend the public participation. So after we educated the civic education, we saw many people were able to attend the public participation so that they can participate in the project formation in the budget of the county government. And then later, we could manage to go to the other offices like MCA office, so that we can collaborate with them to follow up the projects of the county government. Personally, I have a project which I'm following up.
Tell us about it. Tell us about
it's
it.
It's a school called St. Saviour's Primary School. There's a allocation of 1.8. It was 2.8 for 2 schools. There was a construction of 2 classrooms, ECD. So one school constructed the classroom, but there are no resources. And another school, there's a allocation of 1.8, but there's no any work going on. So
where is this school located?
Here in Nakuru town. It is called St. Saviour's. It's not far from here.
Okay.
So I went to the school. I wanted to know more about what's happening. Why don't they start that work of school class construction? And then the head teacher told me that it's they're still communicating with the county government because they know it should be, but no money has not been taken to school so that the construction start. So after that, when I just do a follow-up, another follow-up, and then the school was complaining they don't have enough space. They wanted to construct upstairs Gorofa so that the space is minimum. They wanted to, but money, it's not enough. 1.8 million is not enough.
Right.
So we thought that money won't be used. So I decided it's what I'm still doing now. It is not there is nothing happening, but I'm still following.
So
follow up.
Who are you following this up with? And you have a team that you're working together with?
Yes, I have a team from the Voice 032, and we always go to the office of the MCA, so that they also help us to. They always assist us to do a follow up. They help us to do a follow up of that. But they promised us that they will start that project. So we are still doing that.
Okay.
Even we always go to the other offices. Even the office of the governor, we've been there. If we like, for example, this empowerment for women, empowerment for women, many women don't get those things. Or for example, you find there are these few groups which are given opportunity to get the empowerment facilities project. So we always mobilize for they should bring more things that they can help the women to get employment. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm coming to the conversation about gender mainstreaming and the inclusion of women in governance issues, but I want us to talk about this issue of stalling of projects. What do you think it exposes about how we treat public monies, how we go about public projects in this country, or at least in this county? And secondly, how is Voice 032 preaching the gospel of ensuring that they are holding their leaders accountable even further beyond the stalled projects? But I think that's a good start. Yeah.
Gender streaming, that means that everyone has a right to participate in the budget process. Every person, a woman, should participate. Most of the women are being neglected so much that they should not talk. As women, we have to stand for the other women. So it has been an issue during during the project, during the gender streaming. You find
gender mainstreaming.
Gender mainstreaming. We find it should be both male and female participating, but we find it only male are being given opportunity to participate. So for us as Voice 032, we've been going to the village, to the community. We mobilize the women to attend the public participation.
And how has it been? How has the response from the women been?
It has been so good because they have been trusting. For the first time, they have been asking, what will we be given if we go for the public participation? What will we get from that? But from the time we mobilized and we did civic education, I've seen many...
A tremendous change.
Things have changed. They are attending public participation. They are following the projects. For example, there's a security lights. You find there's a security light in a place. You find another woman say, "Hey, you know, here there will be insecurity if you don't follow up this security light," which means they at least they know something.
Yeah.
So we've been working in the community. We've been cooperating with the community so that the women must so that they can participate in budget processing.
Right. And is it only young women, or is it women from across the board? We have girls, young women, older women.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Yes.
We have old women, but most of the time we try to put young people ahead because these are the Kenya of tomorrow. So all women are there, but most of the time we always try to bring young women on board so that they can help. At times you find old women don't get they don't get an opportunity to walk to their place, but young women, we put them on board and then all.
Right.
Yes.
Why is it so important? I mean, 8th of March, we just marked the International Women's Day. You know, we have all these campaigns about women participation, inclusion, empowerment. Why is it so important for you as Diana? You know, you are leading and championing for the women to be included in governance and to be included in these issues of governance. Why is it so important for us to be able to ensure that women are actively participating, and not just to be seen, but also even when it comes to decision making, they are actually making their voices heard, and we can see something that comes from their participation?
You know, all days, women were put in the houses to sit there without talking. You know, our fathers, they wanted women to be in the house, cook, and do house chores. But nowadays, there's nothing like that. Women are there to talk, they are there to participate, they are there to implement, even the policies. You find women are ahead. They are there to work for the government, not even the government, even the community. Because you find it, many women, they have that power, they have that strength to do both things, both sides, even the house things and the community thing. But you know, men, most of the men you find, they'll just yani watafanya wanawake wasikwe na sauti kwa sababu wanasema, they say women should not have a voice in the community.
Yeah.
But nowadays it has changed. We have to have a voice.
Yeah.
We have to advocate.
Yeah.
We have to we have to follow up the projects so that our children will benefit from the projects.
Yes.
Yes.
Love that. Right. As we conclude our conversation, what more can be done to ensure that we are opening it up for everyone, not just women, not just youth, not just PWDs, but everyone? Because, you know, these issues affect all of us as a collective.
Okay, I think information should be the first key. They should be informed. You know, many people don't do things because they are not informed. Awareness should be there. They should be informed. Even the youth, they should participate. If at times you find youths are left behind because wanasema bado wako na future, but they should participate in these projects. Both women and youth. Most of the time, youth and women are left behind. But as Voice 032, you find in that COB, we have many youth than Gen Zs. We call them Gen Zs, than millennial and the old. They are very few. But Gen Zs are very many because these are the future of tomorrow. So we want to train them. We have to make awareness so that they can be involved fully in these projects.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana, for the amazing work that you're doing with Voice 032, and I hope that it will go even beyond the Retire project. I love that. Love that. All right, that has been our time with Miss Diana Ochieng from Voice 032, right here at our edition, a special edition of the Radio Mtaani from County 032, that is Nakuru County. I will be coming to you shortly after this short music break. break. We'll be right back with our next conversation and hopefully the final one. Keep it Power Radio. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. See, I promised that I would come back, and yes, indeed, I did. My name is Anne Wanyoike, and yes, you are still tuned in to Power Radio. This is the Radio Mtaani County, Nakuru County edition. That's County 032. We are coming to you live and direct from Nakuru County. Right, we're going to get right into our next conversation, and I'm going to allow my guest to introduce herself. yourself, and then we will get to our conversation a little bit later. Layla Brooks, it's good
Yes.
to have you.
Thank you.
On Power Radio. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, what you do, and why. What brings you to Kenya?
Yes. So yeah, I'm Layla Brooks. I'm a PhD candidate at Emory University, which is located in Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S. I'm born in Michigan, but I've been in Georgia for the past like 5-6 years. And I'm here actually because for my PhD, I'm studying intersectionality and political participation in Kenya. I'm kind of studying this across space, but I've been focusing some of my work on Kenya just because of how prevalent ethnicity and gender seems to be, and how kind of forward-looking Kenya's constitution is when it comes to women and when it comes to people who have other identities, particularly marginalized identities.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So when you talk about political participation,
Yeah.
I know you were able to listen into some of the conversations that we
Yes.
were having today earlier on our public participation forum. From what you were able to pick up, how does participation here in Kenya compare to the maybe many or few forums that you have been to in back home in the US? Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, I couldn't understand everything. I'm learning Swahili still. So there was a mix of things. But in terms of comparisons, I think that I feel like it was quite similar to some of the things I've seen before, where people seem to really kind of push on the representatives. It seemed like people seemed to be what they wanted to express themselves. They wanted to participate. And that's usually what we see in spaces like this. The people who are attending are the people who have strong feelings and beliefs related to participation. So it kind of met my expectations in that way. It also, I think I can see that some people will be, from some of the things I've seen, people have been angrier. People didn't seem quite as angry here from some of the things I've seen, though I haven't been to many. But overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was nice to see the high levels of participation. I wasn't sure how that was going to be. And I did see that the representatives, the people up front, were responding a lot to the questions that were being asked, which I also thought was pretty nice. And so I think things like this are great.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
So you said that you're also studying intersectionality.
Yes.
I believe it was Miss Crenshaw who coined
Yes.
the term intersectionality, and I think it, for me, has been transformative in terms of just like theorizing some of the political and social issues that I get to observe, because I do observe a lot across different cultures and different nations. So when you think about intersectionality as an idea or as a philosophy, how can we ensure that as societies, as different stakeholders, as cultures, how do we ensure that we are leaning more into towards intersectional approaches to facilitate more inclusive participation across the board? And why is it so important that we front intersectional approaches towards that kind of work?
Yeah, I think that one thing that I'll say first is that when thinking about intersectionality, I noticed that like this is like a youth space, right? So we had young people who tend to be marginalized and the voices are left out. And so this forum in and of itself was useful in that respect. And at the same time, thinking about gender, I noticed that at some points we were like, hey, like women, do you guys have anything to say? And so women were quieter. Women weren't as loud as the men were. And so I think that thinking about how to get women engaged by, explicitly calling women to speak, that's fine. But thinking about how we can, perhaps set the agenda, create conversations that are pulling women in, bringing women in, So whether it's kind of explicit and direct or indirect, I think that can be useful across different political spaces. I think that it's one thing to say, okay, women talk, and it's another thing to say, to think about what things women will be interested in so that we can ensure that they're participating. And once again, I can't speak to what the forum topics were because I didn't fully understand. But I think that that's one way to increase engagement, whether it's at a forum, whether it's at, I don't know, a rally, like any type of political activity that's being done is making sure that the people who are facilitating have a sense of how to bring people in based on their own interests. Because if I don't have anything to say on the topic, then it's going to be much less likely that I'll speak. And I think that the importance of intersectionality is that taking an intersectional lens allows us to approach people where they are and for who they are, rather than kind of accepting blanket explanations that are meant to reach everybody, but they're only reaching the dominant voices in society, which can be people who have more privilege, or it can be people who are numerically larger, right? And so we miss the voices that are smaller, that are quieter, and that aren't used to being present in certain moments. When we don't spend time trying to figure out what the different types of people there are and how we can engage with them.
Right. Oh, I just realized that I didn't even get to ask you to define intersectionality, because one of the biggest barriers and hindrances to people's public participation is also inaccessible language, and it's important that we transact our ideas with language that is accessible. So what is intersectionality to like a layman? What is the simplest term or way that you can define it?
The simplest way, so as you mentioned, Kimberly Crenshaw coined the term when thinking about how Black women, as being both Black and being women, are forgotten about when it comes to different advocacy programs or speech. And so kind of applying that idea beyond Black women, we can think about how somebody who has, we all have more than one identity. Thinking about somebody who has two identities, how these two identities, trying to think of it in layman's terms, how these two identities influence who we are and what we care about, rather than letting one thing overshine the rest. And it's especially useful when we're thinking about people who have two identities that are oftentimes ignored.
Right. And even as I think about intersectionality as an idea, as a political idea, I can't help myself but think of the many ways that it creates tension, then it creates opportunities for maybe diversity and inclusion. What do you think about that?
I think that, you're saying like, because people have many identities, it can be easy for them to separate as opposed to come together. I think it's so hard because we want all voices to be heard and to have a seat at the table, but we want that to happen in a way that's not divisive. And so I think that some of the things that I've heard are thinking about, allowing people to come to the table in a way that's celebratory and not, I don't know, kind of pointing fingers. This group has done this. Yes, but my group needs this because we are like this, as opposed to using language, I guess, that says this group has done this, and so we need this. But kind of allowing people to speak on behalf of their groups together.
When you're done with your research, what do you hope that it will do in how we think about the topics that you are studying and doing extensive research on?
What am I hoping we'll get from it? I think that intersectionality, and of the things that exist when speaking about intersectionality, I think there are a lot of like gaps in which types of identities we've been concerned with. And so I hope that in Kenya and around the world, people are able to see how when bringing forward certain ideas, when thinking about certain groups and how they have multiple identities, they can see all of the different nuances and all of the different things that come from it. And I hope that that allows people to start thinking in a way that's different, and start thinking about all of the different things that people are kind of bringing with them as they enter into a room, enter into a space, and how we can include them because of these different things and these different backgrounds that they have.
All right. When does it come out?
My
And is it
work.
gonna be published publicly? I would love to read it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to give you a date and a time, but I gotta keep working.
Yes, we know. But I mean, all the best in your research, and I
Thank
hope that
you.
you get think tanks and people who are just willing to share their insights and information on what you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. Karibu Kenya.
Asante sana.
Yeah, that has been our time with Miss Leila Brooks there, talking about intersectionality and what that as an idea can do in terms of facilitating more inclusion when it comes to public participation. And that, my friends, leads us to the end of our time together. That has been our time right here on Radio Mtaani, Nakuru County. We are out, and I will see you tomorrow because we're still here for day 2 of our community forums with the beautiful people of Nakuru County. Until then, it's been a pleasure. My name is Anne Wanyweke, and keep it Power Radio for some more amazing content. Bye for now.
Do you love me, babe?